the unstoppable train comfort specialist. Just one more reason why it's hard to stop a train.
Your train dealer is Forest City Heated and Air at 457 South Broadway Street in Forest City. Call 828-245-1379. Remember, it's hard to stop a train. With CF Moto, you have the power to conquer more. From rocky creek beds to colossal mud pits to wooded mountainsides, CF Moto high-performance vehicles rip through the toughest terrain with ease. Outfitted with custom-designed, liquid-cooled 4-stroke engines and an unmatched assortment of standard features, the CF Moto ATVs and Sidex sides do more than crush trailheads. CF Moto, available now at Full Throttle Power Sports, 100 Indian Walk in Lowell. Buy more, save more at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. Come in now and save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages, refrigerators, dishwashers, ranges, and microwave ovens. Let Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center put a package together for you. Again, save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages. Buy more, save more at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 3 on Saturday. 100 years of anything means a lot. And at Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, you'll find over 100 years of combined motorcycle experience. So they must be doing something right. If you're in the market for a new bike, trike, or four-wheeler or ATV, see the folks you can depend on for sales, service, and parts. That's Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, with over 100 years of combined motorcycle experience. Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, 4402 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Why service your vehicle at Renato Honda in Shelby? Well, the answer is simple. Their Honda Masters certified technicians aim to make your life easier with pickup and delivery up to 25 miles. Service loaners are available, plus Saturday hours to fit your busy schedule. The Renato Honda team provides premium upkeep for both your vehicle and you, with Wi-Fi, snacks and coffee, and a clean showroom to browse around. Enjoy getting your vehicle serviced at Renato Honda. Best service, best prices, best selection, one location. Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. Jammin' Jay's Pizza Factory is Shelby's favorite locally owned family pizza restaurant. Come and see why. Jammin' Jay's features a pizza buffet and salad bar, and they've got a fantastic game room. Call for information on birthday parties, 704-600-6182. And now Jammin' Jay's has gluten-free pizza with any topping. Also on the menu is vegan cheese pizza with any topping, and even liver mush pizza. Jammin' Jay's Pizza Factory, 1011 Grove Street, just off Highway 74 bypass, behind the Golden Corral in Shelby. That's Jammin' Jay's Pizza Factory.
Do things incredible can, cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
Mike said, good morning. Had a little bit of a problem with that last night at the basketball game. Get turn my mics up. Kevin Hastings here, along with Terry Reinhardt, Carson Dockery, and a mouthful of Hunter Yancey.
Whoa!
He's got
Whoa!
chicken and biscuits and
That's
sausage.
a shirt. Mouthful of Hunter.
That's a great construction shirt, right? Right? He don't even want to say anything. What are you eating there, Hunter?
Steak, egg, and cheese biscuit, man.
Oh my God.
I mean, let's not word it like that.
Okay, all right, however you want.
That threw me for a loop.
Well, the peanut section beside you didn't help, so that
Do I ever?
Oh, good morning, everybody. JP's in the house. Good morning, JP. Wave to your camera. I think it's on you in there. Is it working? Are you working? There you go. So JP, wave to your fans. We got JP fans. JP fans.
Whoa!
Believe it or not, I mean we do. We got. Every now and then, people got to tune in and check up on the new superhero news from Terry and the gang, and then JP's got his fans, and they want to know the JP's picks. They don't want to know Terry's picks, do they, Terry?
No, I don't even know JP's picks.
Terry wants to know JP's picks, right? JP's been hot, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit here in the little NFL action. As soon as I get my mic adjusted here. We've got high school sports to talk about. Big news for KTC broadcaster, Mr. Dockery, sitting right here. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about high school wrestling, basketball, softball, baseball, a little bit of everything here in just a little bit. We've got NCAA basketball kicking off and taking off today. We got the Wolfpack on the KTC radio today, Terry. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's about time.
Clemson Tigers and the Wolfpack. Well, you know, when y'all play real teams like Duke and Clemson and Carolina that we covered, we'll put the Wolfpack on the radio. Ain't that right, Hunter? Yeah, Hunter nods.
Wonder who wrote that.
Well, this is Cowboy Country. That
Both of them.
That one, he's got one board over there, so let him have it. Good morning, everybody, again. Saturday morning sports talk. What's up, shopper? New on newsstands this week. We're eating breakfast from Mitchum's Kitchen up in Vail. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Give them a call today. They got all kinds of food, folks. Any type of animal, the basic animals that we eat. They've got it right there.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, today must be a big day.
Yeah.
I've never in my life seen so many people. I guess it's rabbit season.
I was about to say, is there a turkey hunt, or is the fish pond behind the place having a party or something? You couldn't even get in there.
Boy, if I was rabbits, I'd be hunting and running now.
Did you blow your whistle to get through the crowd?
You almost had to.
You almost had, okay. I was
I'm telling you, it was a packed place this morning up at Mitchum's Kitchen.
Well, give them a call today and go see them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, we've also got ton of NBA stuff to talk about. That's going to be fun. And a bunch of news and notes on that for you NBA fans. A little Major League Baseball stuff to talk about. We got a Hall of Fame to talk about. What we like, what we don't like. You know, all that complaining that old fellas do. We'll take care of that. Let's see. NASCAR's coming up a couple weeks. We've got to get into that, Terry, a little bit. Jimmy's got his new paint scheme with his new sponsor. We're going to talk about that. My son's
Sounds like we're packed.
excited. We've got
Sounds like
all
we're
day,
packed.
Hunter. All day.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're here. Me and Hunter's got maybe some special news here in a little bit.
Maybe some special news.
Carson and Hunter, Terry, you know, if you're watching on YouTube, folks, the theory's still alive, isn't it?
It is.
Now, we've got this theory that Carson and Hunter only
the same
have
hat.
one Braves hat between them. Because we've never seen, now, in the history of these two,
Because they're the same hat. and
we've never seen
Exact
them both
same
wear
hat.
a Braves hat
We.
on the
It's
same
not even
day.
the same logo.
That's
On
what
the
I'm saying.
same
It's
day.
not even the same hat.
See, I don't even know what y'all are talking about now with these logos and stuff. All I know is it's Braves hats. We've never seen them wear them on the same day. So
right.
today they prove
Next
it again.
Saturday.
Next
I'm
Saturday.
putting it into this.
All right.
Oh, okay, well, we'll see about that, Terry.
It'll be.
Yeah, you never seen me and what, Batman in the same room? Is that how it
Hey.
goes?
Yeah.
Oh, you've never seen Carson and Banana Man. All right, Terry. Welcome,
You're
everybody.
not wrong.
That's true, too. The Hornets, we're going to get into that first. Monday night, they play the Knicks. So they'll host that.
Ugh.
Last night they fell.
They better
against-
win.
I'm about to say, they play the Knicks.
Yeah,
That's-
well,
It
you know,
should be a victory, as Carson said.
the
Should.
Eastern Conference has decided to tank.
Everybody?
There's only 4 teams playing for it right now.
Yeah.
The Hornets are under 500, and they're the 6th seed, I think. I mean, that's how bad.
Pacers are out of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what it
I
was
hated
5.
I
Now
hated
it's
to
down
see
to
that
4
too.
because of that. Victor Oladipo, because Oladipo in the playoffs poses a matchup problem for teams once you get in these game-to-game
Yeah, and he's a
situations.
solid defensive player, too.
Yes,
He's
he
is.
solid.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. Pulling up the standings here in the NBA, to say, but like I said, 5 teams in the East. Hornets sitting there, lost last night to Milwaukee. Carson, they were leading at some point, right?
They were leading for, 3 quarters basically, and then fourth quarter the Bucks go on 11-0 run and they just pulled away. I mean, Giannis is an MVP candidate for a reason.
Yeah, well, they're a 500 team. That's what they are.
All right. So the question was, Terry, last night I saw online
They're not going to make the playoffs.
who.
Hornets.
Well, they're going to make the playoffs
No, they
because
could,
only
'cause
if
the
there's
East
only
is so
4 teams
bad.
that are trying.
Yeah.
That's and the Hornets are. Kim is out there trying, and the rest of them ain't. That's the Hornets' curse or problem this year. They could finish under 500, still make the playoffs, and everyone else is trying to tank for all these Duke players. And it's
Yeah.
what everybody's doing. Trying to get Williamson and Barrett.
Barrett and Reddish and Trey
Yeah.
Jones.
Yeah.
Is someone in the draft Krzyzewski while they're at it on this?
Kobe tried.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why Coach K doesn't give it a shot. I know Duke's obviously paid him.
What's he
What,
doing it
what
for
does
at
he?
this point?
What does he gain really? Like
I'm not gonna say that.
I think what I mean. What does he?
But at this point, what does he have to lose? I mean, what if he goes to the NBA? He's coached these superstars before and has won
Yeah, but
gold
what-
medals.
what-
What's going and winning an NBA championship
What
to add to your
situation?
hardware?
Making
What
very
situation?
money.
Let me back up. Who are we talking about here, Coach K? He don't play games where the other teams have better players
You're
than
right.
him.
You're right.
So it's not like he's going.
Well,
If he goes to the Olympic team, he's got
Okay,
the
now
best
the
players.
Olympic team, he's got the best players.
Almost
I was gonna say now he
every
played
Duke-
competition where they get outplayed at Duke.
But what I'm saying is, almost every team he's got more talent. Walking onto the court, 99% of the time, Coach K's got more talent than
Even
the
the
other
Well,
game,
it's 'cause he's the one who brings the talent in.
Oh, Team
Even the games you
USA.
lost this year between the Gonzaga and Syracuse, and really Syracuse came when you walked on the court. Duke was already the favorite.
Well, what I'm saying is that
But
he's
they
not going to
still
go to the
lost.
NBA where you're going to lose 20, 30 games and not have the best player unless the Warriors or somebody like that come.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What situation would he be in?
Lakers
There's-
with
it-
LeBron.
It
Well, the
would
best
be the Lakers or the
situation he would
Warriors.
want, is one of the bottom 2 or 3 right now because you got a chance of
Yeah,
drafting
Zion.
your own player.
You might not
Drafting
want
your
him.
own player.
What's Zion going to do when he gets to the league and can't shoot threes?
Well, LeBron couldn't shoot threes when
Well,
he came
there
in.
wasn't a 3-point shooting league the first
Yeah,
5 to
you're
7
right.
years of that.
Yeah.
And he still can't really. He's not out there firing out threes. I mean,
Now,
Zion's not a I think he's a guy who's like his form isn't so bad that it can't get
I agree.
better.
I was about to say, I think he can work on
He
it.
can at least be a set shooter if nothing else.
Because see,
go-
right
it's
now,
going to be a shock to him though, because you know how it is when you move up a level when you finally get the people that are your size, right,
Mhm.
Terry? Because when you high school, there was nobody his size. Most of college, there's nobody. There's a couple people
There's
out there
only
that can
one
bang
person
with.
who weighs more than him in the NBA.
Is that
and
right?
It's Boban.
and he's over.
He's
3.
And
7'3".
he's seven- yeah.
7'3".
7 huge.
he's a big human.
Zion's got. I mean, and the thing with
And he's
him,
got a 44-inch vertical.
Yeah, he's athletically gifted.
He's
and
almost jumped as high as Cody
He's
Zeller.
got, and for his size, he's got
That's a
decent
good
ball
one to use.
handling
That
skills.
That's a good one to use.
That's
For
pretty
his
good.
size, he's got decent ball handling skills. The thing is like this year's Duke team is not so reliant on the 3 ball, so they're not
Yeah.
asking him to shoot.
Well, he's
threes
got-
all
he's
the
got
time.
shooters around him.
Yeah, he's got shooters around him, but him
Like
and
a
RJ, when they're within 5 feet of the basket, it's golden.
It
Yeah.
is funny
They're just-
watching
they're
Duke
just
not shoot
golden.
threes, Terry, and play Carolina ball right now, isn't it?
Well, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest
they
with
get
you.
out in transition.
They're
a
playing
lot.
We're in here talking about Zion. I'm one of them people also who does not think he's the best player on that team.
Who do you think's the best
I
player on
think
the team?
Barrett's the best player on that team. Is going to be a whole lot better NBA player than Zion's going to be.
I disagree.
I mean, Barrett can do everything. He can
Is that
drive,
your-
he
the-
can
all
dribble,
your
he
argument?
can- he can
I mean,
run
I
a
just
point.
disagree. I hear.
He
Look,
can do everything.
don't get me wrong.
He can
I
shoot.
I think RJ Barrett's good. Don't get me wrong, but I think Zion's ceiling is higher if you can tap into just his athleticism.
Zion's
his ceiling is higher than
Zion's
RJ's.
ceiling is probably higher, but Barrett's floor is probably also higher.
Way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Also, I think Cam Reddish is not talked about enough. Trey Jones is arguably the
Hurt.
one of after like Shane Battier, he's probably the second best defender Coach K's ever had. I think he's the best. He's easily the best freshman defender he's ever had, and that's something. I mean, like now 3-and-D is all the rage in the NBA. He can develop. Like he's a decent shooter. He'll get better, and he already plays good defense. I mean, somebody's gonna want him. He's better than his brother, I think.
Yeah.
He's
Oh, yeah,
he's
they
better
said-
than
they
his.
said his numbers throughout the first few games he'd already played were already better than his brother. while
Does
he
it
was
not
with
just make you roll your eyes though sometimes when they say, "Well, you got to be able to play defense here in the NBA," and then you look at the points per games this year, and everybody's averaging 110. Well, who's playing defense?
There's
Like,
no such
you-
thing as
you-
defense.
like-
Just wait
like-
for the
like, how
All-Star
do you-
game. They're having
How
200
do,
now.
how do you choose between, you're talking about the players, like, well, this guy might be able to play, like, we'll say Gabe DeVoe. He can shoot. He can line it up. Theo Pinson can do a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are they not doing that keeps them out of the NBA. That some of these people you've never heard of and scrubs from these because they're real athletic, and these GMs on the bench take more. It's like the bench players, they take more chances on projects than actual solid players that can do their job.
I think you look at bench players in the NBA, a lot of them just know their role.
Yeah,
and they specialize in something.
Right.
They realize that like, I'm not a top 20, 25 player in the NBA. Like, I have to have a niche. I have to be something that I can focus in on this and be really good at it. And that's why, we talk about like MKG. That was his whole thing coming into the league, is that he can
Play defense.
He can play defense and he can get out in transition.
Yeah.
I mean, now he can still get out in transition, but there's so many people that are better than him at that, and he's not that good of a defender anymore. You've got to specialize in something if you're not an all-star.
And I think this is what hurts. It's not quite the GMs. I wonder, think about it. How many coaches in the NBA are actually good at player development? How many?
Not a lot.
Popovich has been good in the draft with his player development. Brad Stevens,
Well,
they've done a good job.
How much is it a coach, and how much is it like a front office?
Well, yeah, I understand that, and I guess your
it's an
assistant
organizational
coaches,
kind of thing.
How many of them can actually say when they get a top draft pick that they turn into the superstar that they're hoping them to be?
Or even not even necessarily.
You know what I'm saying?
Not
many of them come out like that.
Not even
They're just not
necessarily.
developed
Most coaches are fired too for those players.
Not even necessarily
Right.
a lottery pick, but I mean, like, the teams that I think of is, like, you're right, the Spurs, like, they had
Yeah.
that run really good international players. The Heat was the first team to really utilize their G League team.
Mhm.
I mean, like, you
Yeah,
had
no one
Hassan, you
dips
had
into
Hassan
the
White.
G League anymore.
Well, I mean, like, Dwayne Bacon and Devontae Graham go back and forth between Greensboro and Charlotte all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what they need, because otherwise they're playing
not
maybe 5 minutes a
Yeah, I
game.
was gonna say, they're not playing and not getting any experience.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can say what you want about, going to the G League, it's lower competition, but at the same time, you're getting run, and you're able to practice things in game time situations that you can't with with that limited time that you get when you're playing in the NBA.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like everybody that they keep talking about, that I always hear in the NBA, are just seasoned veterans. There's never that young gun, except maybe when Ben Simmons first came in, that they were
Donovan Mitchell.
and Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
But even that, there's two, and they were most recently.
Yeah.
When Joel Embiid was always hurt, and we're
Yeah.
lucky, and the Sixers are really lucky that he actually turned out to be something after those injuries.
Yeah.
But other than that, it just feels like, because what was the young man that played at Duke, went to the Heat? I mean, you don't hear anything. Justice Winslow. You don't
Well,
hear anything about him.
I mean,
They're-
he's a starter, but I mean, it's not like, think
They
of
don't- they
Jaleel Okafor.
Yeah.
What happened to him? He's a dinosaur now. Like, nobody
not using him.
dumps it into the post and just lets guys go to work anymore, and that's what he's best at. I always compared him to Al Jefferson when he was in college. That's what he was.
You know,
Even
part
the
of the
Lakers-
problem why they've got away from the post, it's not that it's just the game. Like, every shot isn't a three. You look at the numbers; it's about kind of.
You want either a three or get as close to the basket as you can.
So like the Okafors and the Howards and stuff, they can use them and they do, but they'll have those guys that have the offensive skills, and they'd
They
rather
can't
put
play.
out a guy out there that just stands there. But the thing about it is, and here's why it's gotten away from the post. Here's the theory. See what Terry thinks. 82 game schedule. Who wants to bang for 82 games?
Not a lot of people.
Who wants to work? How many? And remember what we're talking about.
Can
At
put
some
up with
point,
it.
we got Cody Zeller and these guys, the centers, the backup centers are making $10 million. Now remember, in the salary cap wasn't that much more. It ballooned a lot more, but just percentage wise, the Bulls when they won the championship, Jordan got paid $29 million in the last 3 years. Okay,
That was in the 90s.
you know who was? I think Kukoc was second on the team with $4 million.
Yeah.
So I just said Cody, the center, and the back, MKG, and all these guys aren't even averaging like 10, 11 points or anything like that. Or they're getting the 10, 11, $12 million right now. They're getting much as Kim is. So you got these 7 foot. Why am I going to go into post getting paid $10 million to be a backup and work on post moves that could get me hurt? And you know, there's a lot of. I think there's a lot of that to it when it gets to that level of. Well, is it worth it to get hurt at and when you're getting paid $10 million? And I don't think they want to bang and hustle for the 82 games. LeBron, this was last year the first year he ever played 82 games in his career.
Yeah.
I mean,
And now Kawhi doesn't even want to play a back.
Well, now LeBron it's the longest stretch of games he's ever missed in his career now.
if you want to get conspiracy theories, the day he got hurt was the day he made the Jewish money comment. the next day, and he's been out since.
Yeah. Well, it was not
Well,
a comment. It was a song. It's a lyric.
I
from a
know.
song,
You
yeah.
know, is this a Adam Silver secret suspension? Is what people were saying.
I can't imagine that.
I don't know.
I mean, he
The
hurt
next
himself in
day.
the game.
But
The
then,
very
but now,
next day.
and I know LeBron's been.
Maybe that's just karma.
LeBron obviously has been
And it's an
out
ankle.
with this injury.
no,
but
it's
that,
groin. It's his groin.
It's his
Yeah, it's
groin.
his groin.
Oh, that's a good fakeable injury.
Yeah, but even with that, you know, that goes back to what I was saying though about I don't think these teams know how to do player development because the young Lakers, they can't hold their own without LeBron right now. I mean, they're not as bad as the Cavaliers were when he sat out.
Yeah.
When he was out.
They haven't won 5 games.
I know, but that's what I'm
They've-
saying.
they've
they're
fallen all
still
the way
under
out of
500.
the
That's what
top
I'm
8
saying. They
seeds,
went
yeah.
from
They're-
what,
they're out of
4th or
the
5th all the way to 9th or 10th.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be realistic.
That's what I'm
about
saying,
this. There's
and-
30 teams.
Yeah.
There's a lot of youth in the league. Jordan didn't win his championship till his 7th year. LeBron won
Oh,
his
I'm not saying
9th.
they're supposed to be
Mhm.
winning now, but
No, I know-
have they not done? Think about it. Have they
They're all
not done
22
Brandon
years old.
Ingram
How old's
kind of
Brandon
a
Ingram?
disservice? Brandon
He
Ingram's
was
my
like
age.
21
He's-
or something.
Yeah, Jordan didn't leave college till he was 21. So we have to, you have to look at these players in that perspective. What I'm saying, Hunter, is that they're not old enough to be good yet.
Well, and,
we
nobody
put a lot of
develops
pressure
in
on
the
for them
same
to do
time
that.
period, that kind of thing.
25 to 30 is if they're not good by then, that's when you know they've messed up. So
Yeah.
where are we at with MKG? We're at the point where at,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
dude, it's
He
time
is
to
what
go.
he
You
is,
know,
yeah.
think about it. When Kobe come in, it took him 3 to 4 to 5 years for him to develop being
To
Kobe.
be, to become, who
Well,
he
so
was.
does this maybe? I mean, this is a little segue, if anything, but it's like, well, does that maybe say to people, don't knock going to your 2 or 3 years in college?
Right, you
Oh,
should
I
knock
agree.
any of that. I don't think you
That's
should.
what I'm
knock
saying. Like,
the-
I mean, right
if you
now, I
think
would sit back and want to know how many of them Duke guys are still going to classes.
none. Why would they?
They're not staying. They're first,
they're there
second, and
for
4th is what they're
literally.
saying.
Ben Simmons,
The
when he
only
left
other ones would be Trey
LSU,
Jones,
said
and he's
I
supposed to
didn't
be in
even.
top 15.
No,
When
yeah,
Ben Simmons
Trey
left
Jones is
LSU,
insane.
he said, I don't even know why I was there. I was there for a semester. I didn't want to go to class. He said, I was there for a semester because I had to. I had to go to school.
Well, it was LSU too. It's not even like
So
he was on.
it's
the-
Oh, I know
16
that.
He
now.
wasn't even on a good
It
team.
is 16, not 5 now in the East. They're above 500. Charlotte's not one of them. They're now in the 8th seed, 2 under 500. They're right behind Miami.
I think the standout right there is the Nets.
Yeah,
Weren't the Nets like tanking last year?
we thought so. And then
Well,
Spencer Dinwiddie was pretty good.
Well, he's hurt, and he's hurt right now, and they're still in the 6th spot.
Do they still have Theo Pinson called up? He was
God, I hope
called up
not.
for a little while.
No, I don't think he's caught up now. I thought I saw some tweets from him online. So out in the West, they have 10 teams over 500. The Lakers are one of them outside with Sacramento. The whole
Sacramento. Can we talk about
Yeah,
them?
think about that.
I mean, you got De'Aaron Fox.
They've drafted well.
They've
drafted how the Hornets should have.
They
done.
honestly, I think they got lucky with the Harry Giles pick because he was hurt at Duke and he was hurt before he came to Duke.
Yeah, but
and
I
now-
watched
I think he's starting to come around. Like
Yeah.
Harry Giles isn't a typical center. He's like a point center. He
I don't
likes
think he's a center. I think you would list him as a power forward.
Well, a big man.
Yeah.
Nobody really even,
Yeah.
But I mean, he likes to have the ball in his hand and make plays. Like that's what he's good at.
He struggled though. He
We-
really when he was.
I mean,
there
think about
against
how
the
many
Hornets, he struggled.
how many games did he play in college? I mean, it was less than 20. So I think him. It's like you say. It's about giving him time. He's got to acclimate
No, I know
to the
that.
NBA.
He's
You
gonna
know
need
what I'm
time.
saying?
I'm just saying, he right now. I think he's going to be a little bit more of a project for them because he's not
definitely.
what they thought he was going to be, and I don't think he's what he thought he was going to be coming out of college.
Well-
Because they
well, he
originally
was-
were talking about him being the number one.
Well,
pick.
guess what I'm saying. He was so dominant in high school. Then he blew his ACL or something in his knee, and he just, like you said, he hasn't really been the same. But at the same time, can you imagine like you're late in your junior, early in your senior year, getting hurt to the point where you can't finish playing basketball, then you're still hurt when you go into college, and so you play not even half the schedule probably, and then you get into the NBA. So you're playing catch up the whole time. He's been playing catch up over the last 3 years. So you got to give him time to. I mean, this is probably the first time he's been 100% since his junior year of high school.
I think to me, the way why I'm pushing, there's not much development of these players is I'm guessing is like I want to see college basketball obviously change their rule when it comes to on your eligibility for the NBA draft. I want them to go to more of a college football type scheme, but hear me out. Like where you have to go, if you choose to go the college route, at least go 3 years.
You mean baseball? College baseball?
College football does it too. You got to stay at least 3 years.
No, I
and you
mean
can
like
forego.
you can declare and jump out in high school, or you
Yes.
got to stay 3 years.
Yeah,
Baseball. It's baseball.
okay, so the baseball rule. I
Yeah.
would like college basketball to do that. One, I think it's good for the college game, and it doesn't really, like how Terry likes to say, it doesn't waste a scholarship. If you are going to be there, then you're going to be there for a good amount of getting not only your education, but growing yourself as a player. Because not everybody, where I say, yeah, you can still come out of high school, not everybody is a Kobe Bryant, not everybody is LeBron, and not everybody is Zion. Like a lot of these kids want to think they are and are ready to come out of high school. Now, if you can, props to you. Absolutely. If you go right ahead, but there's no guarantee that you're going to be drafted as high as you think you are. That's why, I mean, I think that's better than the one and done. I just personally, I think, because like we said, these kids, they don't even want to be there.
I think that's better than going, like what they want to do as like
The
a
G
stopgap,
League?
is a stopgap fix.
Yeah.
Yeah, the G League.
Yeah.
Because think about it, you've got grown men in the G League. You're
Yes.
gonna have some kid that's fresh out of high
They're
school.
going to break him.
Those are grown men that is their livelihood. Like you don't get paid that much to be in the G League. It's like a minor league baseball player. You are basically barely making above minimum wage for the time that you spend.
All right, Terry, I got questions for you. Ready?
I'm listening.
Who's better, Kemba Walker or James Harden?
Who is?
Oh, let
what?
me back. I did that wrong. Let's back up.
There it is.
Who's
Oh,
better?
I messed up.
Sorry. Who's better, Kemba Walker or Steph Curry?
Who is better?
Yeah.
Steph Curry.
Okay. Who's better, Klay Thompson or Kyrie Irving?
There you go.
That's a hard one because you got to look at both sides of the ball.
I'm gonna tell you, this is what I.
Well,
would
let me
say.
reverse the
It's
question.
two
Klay
very
Thompson.
different
Hold on.
games.
Let me change the question.
I'll
Let me
take
back up.
Klay Thompson if I had to pick
Okay.
one of the
Either way, let me reverse it. Kyrie or Steph?
Steph,
Okay. Then Kemba or Klay?
Clay.
Klay.
Okay. So
I think
same
that- I
answer
think-
either way.
I think that's the Kemba Clay one is closer than
Kawhi,
Klay,
Kevin
Kyrie.
Durant.
Right now, Kawhi Leonard.
Well, I don't know. I'd take Durant.
You're silly.
Kawhi, I mean, his two-way is fantastic. It is.
You know, didn't Durant lead the league in blocks last year? Or second?
He was up there. He was high. Yeah. Well, he's 7 feet.
I'd say 7 foot. I'd hope so.
That's like
His arm
well,
makes him
that's,
like
yeah,
7'8".
That's
Well,
like Frank
I mean,
Kaminsky.
I
He's
keep
7
looking
feet.
back
Don't
tall.
talk about
this.
Kawhi's defense, and I can't bring up Durant's.
No, I mean you're right, but
I want a guy who's gonna play.
So it's three.
Durant's gonna play.
It's 3-0 right now. All right.
what do you mean?
All-star starters.
Yeah, the questions I'm asking is 3-0. So Giannis or Draymond Green?
Giannis.
Okay, 3-1. Embiid or Boogie Cousins?
I take Embiid.
I'd take me and B.
Even if y'all think it's Embiid,
Yeah.
that still means the
3-2,
Warriors
yeah.
beat the Eastern Conference All Stars 3-2.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Warriors. I was gonna
The
say, I don't know-
Warriors
I don't know
starting
what you're-
lineup has a better starting lineup. We just went down at
Than
3-2.
the East.
And it's
All
very
stars.
debatable. Everyone wants to say Embiid, but in a real game,
Now
Boogie.
don't get now if you're talking
in a real game,
Boogie.
when Boogie's healthy,
If you're talking
Boogie.
pre-Achilles, I'm taking Boogie. Okay, pre-Achilles, I'm taking Boogie because Boogie's taking Embiid outside.
who's not
and
going to put
working
up
him.
with Embiid's BS more than anybody?
Boogie is literally taking Embiid outside
Yeah.
of the gym and hurting him.
Russell Westbrook wants to take Embiid
So,
outside the gym.
the Eastern Conference All Stars cannot play with the Golden State Warriors. So when you start picking your Western Conference picks, you Nuggets, Thunder,
Oh no,
Blazers,
the
Rockets
Warriors.
fans.
The Warriors shouldn't lose. More than 5 games the rest of the season.
Terry, what do you think about that?
Well, now that Clay's starting to play and Cousins is starting to play, Golden State should not lose me.
Well, anytime there's 2 shooters on the floor that are hot, it's almost unguardable. When they get 3 shooters on, there's nothing you can do.
And not to mention, Boogie can hit threes.
Yeah,
That's
he
what
Yeah,
I'm
can
saying.
if
hit
he gets
threes,
bored,
yeah.
he can go out there and
Boogie's
shoot.
Boogie's a better shooter than Draymond.
Should
Boogie-
Draymond ever shoot the basketball
Again,
no.
no.
again?
He sh- the, on-
Again.
the only time he
He's the
should
floor leader.
the only
Why
time
don't
he
they make
should
him the
score
sixth
is
man?
in transition.
Why don't they just make him the 6th man? Start Iguodala and
Yeah,
make
yeah.
Draymond a 6th man and come
Iguodala.
in
He
and
wants
start.
a supermax.
and-
He's not going to play
and
a 6
start-
man.
Well, who cares what he wants?
I'm just telling you.
He can set the bench and they'll be just fine. they'll be okay. What do they say? They're averaging 118
Hunter
points.
could be their power forward and they would be fine.
They're averaging 119 points. There's a lot of power in that power forward. 119
Yeah,
points a
there
game.
is.
Draymond's averaging 7. So without
I'll run
Draymond,
underneath their legs.
they would average 112. They'd average more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
And now for
17,
the
18,
count
19,
show.
20, 21. Without Draymond Green, the
They would
Warriors would
average
average
more
more
than
than 22
over the-
teams in the NBA.
Without Draymond Green.
Without Draymond Green, they would average more than 22
You
teams
gotta have a
in the
floor
league.
leader. I don't care what.
You need to-
team
But you
on.
don't think Steph's the floor leader?
No.
You need 7 points on the jerk to be
No.
on the
Yeah.
floor. All right, well, let's go to a break, JP. You ready?
No.
We'll be back in a few minutes. We got to talk NFL. We've got to talk NCAA and more on KTCBroadcasting.com.
We're here because your mother doesn't trust anyone else. Your daughter just got her license. Your son needs a dependable car for school. Or maybe you just appreciate honesty, which is exactly what you get at Classic Ford of Shelby. Whether shopping for one of our 200 new Fords in stock or one of our quality pre-owned vehicles starting as low as $3,000, you get honest service at a hometown price. Welcome to our family. Classic Ford of Shelby, the hometown store that gives you more.
Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks in Lowell is home to great barbecue and more. Serving this area since 1989. You'll find barbecue, ribs, chicken, steaks, and more. Ask about their party packs, family packs, and fundraisers, plus special catering and delivery. And every Wednesday is Senior Day. Seniors 60 and over eat for a special low discounted price at Hillbillies Barbecue and Steaks, 720 McCannville Road in Lowell. And for special reservations, call 704-824-8838 or visit the website at hillbilliesbbqsteaks.com.
What are you looking forward to most in life? In the book of Acts, in the first chapter, verse 9 says these words, "After saying this, he was taken up into a cloud while they were watching, and they could no longer see him. 2 white-robed men suddenly stood among them. 'Men of Galilee,' they said, 'why are you standing here staring into heaven? Jesus has been taken from you into heaven, but someday he will return from heaven in the same way you saw him go.'" Something to look forward to is the return of Jesus. This is Vince Hefner, pastor of the First Baptist Church of Cherryville, saying, don't give in to sin. Think about it.
Cleveland County's premier Buick GMC dealer is Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Come in now and take a test drive in your new Buick or GMC. Right now, drive away in a new 2019 Buick Encore at 20% off MSRP. You save over $5,300. And it's Denali season. Get up to over $12,000 in savings on the 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab with the Denali Ultimate Package. Come in for all the details at Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
It's the 30th anniversary of NBA basketball in Charlotte, and the Hornets are writing the latest chapter in Charlotte basketball history with their first-year head coach, James Borrego. Fast-paced and high-flying. Join the new voice of Charlotte Hornets basketball, Chris Kroger, and 10-year NBA veteran Matt Carroll as they deliver every thrilling moment of Hornets hoops all season long on the Charlotte Hornets Radio Network.
Here's Charlotte Hornet basketball right here on the Boston Carolina Country. WHS, WCSL, and WLON. Online at KDCBroadcasting.com.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Wednesday morning from 11 to 12 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
And good morning, welcome back. It's NC State basketball time, and Terry's leaving.
Bye, Terry. Bye.
So we get to trash the
Love
Wolfpack
you.
for a minute.
Au revoir.
Au revoir,
Oh,
Terry.
that's just the wrongest way to pronounce that. Let me tell you.
You didn't get that right.
Au revoir? What's it?
Au revoir.
Oval.
You don't even know what you ordered. I don't know. It wasn't what you thought. Don't say that on the side street, too.
Yeah, don't go to Quebec and start saying au revoir.
Fine. Hasta la vista, Terry.
Oh God.
Oh, Terry's out. We was talking college a little bit. Talked mostly NBA a bit there a minute ago. Let's go over real quick the some college basketball standings and stuff real quick for our next break. And we'll get into the championship games in a minute. Terry had some hot takes before he left for you guys. And so, let's see. I thought that was going to say where the kid went. Zion is unfazed as Jay-Z watches. Hunter,
Why did he go to the
Carson,
game
y'all
at
got any
Pitt?
comments on Jay-Z?
Who?
Jay-Z, why did he go to the game at Pitt?
Yeah, why didn't he go to it at Cameron? Lord knows they're going to let him
Or
in as soon as he
He could
shows
probably
up.
drive to Pitt, maybe? I'm not sure.
Pittsburgh's not. I mean, Pittsburgh is like the other side of Pennsylvania from Philadelphia. Philadelphia's pretty close. to me.
3 hour, 4 hour drive.
I mean,
I don't know.
Do y'all really think he drives? He gets in that helicopter.
I didn't say he.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
you
not
thought
saying
he think he
gets in that-
helicopter?
He don't even get. If he's going someplace, he's
They
just
didn't
hop-
even-
he's
okay.
just calling his
That's probably
his
a good
personal pilot and say, "Hey man, let's ride."
His chauffeur.
And he tells his pilot, "Just always be ready. You never know." In my drunk stuber, when I'll say, "Let's go get something stupid done."
Can you imagine just having
You rolling up in White Castle in a helicopter? Is that what you're saying?
just having
Yeah.
having the ability to wake up at like you said, just half sober. Just you know what? I'll go to California. Boy, let's go.
Let me-
Boy,
Helicopter boy. Get out here.
Chopper boy.
Chopper boy.
That's it, there you go.
It's like, my name is Gerald, sir.
Chopper boy.
If you're going to take it that far, Carson, you're probably going to roll over onto some type of cot-like device with poles where people carry you to the helicopter, right?
Oh, he's just they're already carrying him out there.
No,
as much money
they
as he's
they
got.
stick the poles in the bed that he's laying in.
No,
in the
no,
morning.
it's like-
lift it up
Yeah.
and carry
No,
it.
it'll be like
He's
the
like,
boy.
waiters.
It'll be like the boy at his bar mitzvah. He'll just be sitting
Yeah.
in a chair and four guys. will come
That's
up
what
and
I was
pick him up
picturing in
and-
my head.
and
Exactly.
Just carry him all the way in.
I mean, but does this is this a sign though? that
Beyonce
maybe,
did that during one of the concerts, didn't she? They brought her
I
in on a
think
chair.
she's
done
done
that
everything.
multiple
They bring her in
God.
on a chair.
Yeah,
God
I mean, she
bless her.
calls herself Queen Bee for a
I
reason.
mean, I would.
Okay, that's enough. This is a family-friendly show.
I didn't say
Anyways,
anything that
but
sounds
does
either.
this? You think that's a sign though? With Jay-Z being there, Pittsburgh, he maybe would like to, when Zion declares, to get him a part of Rock Nation.
Oh, obviously.
Rock Nation, because he's already got LeBron. I mean, that's a,
How does an NBA owner, also an agent?
He's not an owner anymore.
Oh, okay.
He gave
did
that up.
sell-
He gave
did
that up
sell-
when he
okay.
started the.
I just wanna make sure
the
that
I was
was
gonna say he
confusing.
was like part owner of the Nets.
Yeah, that's
And
what
then
I
that-
thought. He
Out of
still
the two
was.
teams in New York, he wanted the Nets.
Well, the Knicks aren't that much better.
I mean,
Maybe
The
the
Nets-
it was a
the-
more established franchise.
The Nets have been to the finals more recently.
Also, Hunter,
Even that was
maybe
like
he,
2003.
maybe the Knicks owner wouldn't sell him any shares.
Yeah, James Dolan's kind of awful.
Yeah,
James
but
Dolan is
But
ar-
this is the best time to try and get it because I heard James Dolan said
James
that
Dolan
he's
is-
actually open.
Is a
Sell the team.
James Dolan is a top 5 worst owner in sports.
All right, well, who's second?
Jerry Jones.
There's somebody
We can
worse
say
than
this.
him? Somebody worse than Jerry?
Yeah, James Dolan.
You think
Yeah.
so?
At least the Cowboys get in the
I was
playoffs.
gonna say,
They
James Dolan-
lose.
James Dolan has had the Knicks tanking, and they didn't even know it.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't even know it.
He pissed off Patrick Ewing. Like Charles Oakley
Yeah,
doesn't
Charles
ever want to
Oakley,
come back.
yeah.
And Knicks fans love Charles Oakley. They do.
They might love him. Oak's not exactly like.
Oh, he's
the
not a
nicest
lovable
guy.
guy. No, God, no. But that's what
I'm
I'm saying.
sure
It's
it's not-
New
He's
York.
not a teddy
He is
bear.
a New York personality kind of player. You know what I'm saying? Like very rough around the edges, but when you gotta get something done, Charles,
Right.
go take care of homeboy.
You know who else is probably up there now? At least NBA ownership. I don't know what the Bulls owners.
Oh, Jerry
thinking.
Reinsdorf.
Yeah, they're. Oh, that is a.
He
dumpster
owns the
fire.
Bulls and the White Sox.
That's they're both dumpster fires.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe that's an eye opener for somebody. It's like neither one of these teams is winning. He ought to pull a. What is it? Who's the owner of the Falcons? He just
Art Blank.
blanket shit. What's
No,
it?
just Art Blank.
Blank. Yeah. And then he brings that. He buys that soccer team. and puts
That's
it in
how they
Atlanta.
win a
And that's how
championship.
they win a championship.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it with the football team, but we won it with our MLS
I
team.
wouldn't mind if he bought the Braves because at least then maybe the owner would spend some money instead of Liberty Media Group just looking at everything as like, a line on an invoice sheet basically.
You're
Analytics, my
I do
friend.
think.
Well,
the,
yeah, but
I do think the Knicks and so baseball. They look at the Yankees and see they can get whatever player they want. And they try to do that in basketball too.
Yeah.
And you can't do it with the salary cap.
Right.
Well, I mean, you can't just. I think it's harder. I mean, obviously, there's more positions on a baseball field. There's more positions in a baseball roster. But like, I feel like
it
it almost.
well over half that roster's pitchers.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost harder to build a better basketball roster than a baseball roster.
Because you're limited on it, on your numbers.
And I mean, there is a hard cap and a luxury tax and all that stuff in basketball. And I mean, I feel like, the player pool. I mean, obviously, basketball is basically just as international now as baseball. But I think the player pool that you pull from, in basketball versus baseball, the baseball one is just so much bigger. And I think it's easier to find diamond in the rough type players in baseball as opposed to basketball. Obviously, you're gonna have the one every once in a while, that second round player in basketball that
You're gonna have
turns
Lynn
into something.
Sanity come out of nowhere.
And then you lose him.
Yeah, and then you let him go.
So I
really.
got questions about orange teams.
Oh boy.
Okay. Yeah,
Are
let's
the
talk about it.
orange teams the secret to the NCAA tournament this year? We always talk about the big blues.
Yeah,
Blue
that's
Bloods.
blue blood.
This year's the oranges.
Orange blood.
Is Tennessee for real?
Something wrong with him. You got orange blood.
Can you trust Virginia and Syracuse sitting in that 4th spot in the ACC? Are they in the NCAA? Might as well write them down in the Sweet 16?
I think
It comes down to
Didn't
these
Syracuse
three.
made a run like last year? or the
They
year
make a
before?
run
Yeah.
about every other
Yeah,
year.
That's what I'm
That's what I'm saying.
I think
They're going to the
due
Sweet
for
16.
one.
I said write them down in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Can you trust Virginia?
I don't know if you.
And is Tennessee the best team in the country?
Out of those three, the one I wouldn't trust is Virginia. And
I
they're-
think they're gonna get out of the first round this year. Like, I mean, obviously, everybody loves to talk about that because it happened so recently. But we're not gonna see a 16 beat a 1 for a really long time again. You know how long it took for it to happen in the first place?
Let's never say never.
I'm
It's a
not saying.
domino
I'm not
effect. It's
saying
happened
never.
once. We're gonna
I'm
start
not
seeing it.
No, it's not gonna be in every year a 16's beating a 1. There's no way.
If you believe in fixes, now remember the Super Bowl went
He
35.
loves some
The
fixes.
Super
He
Bowl went
does.
35 years of blowouts, and then the last
I wish-
20 have all been within 10 points.
We need like the X-Files music or
I know.
something
I
queued
will
up
button
when
it, I can just
when
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, these leagues and everything don't do this for fairness and wins. They do
No.
it for making money, and there's a reason.
The
There's
tournament's
like
set
Terry said,
up
they're
to
doing
see the big teams.
They're doing bracketology right now, and that Terry was flipping off about that before he left. And I agree with Terry, but that's college sports. That's the only thing they do is talk about where people are ranked. And we're arguing. Now, remember, in football, we can't figure out who the top four teams are.
Now we're trying to figure out.
We have the
top
audacity.
68.
We have the
Yeah,
audacity to
68.
sit here on national television and say, no, they're the 69th best team. No, they're the 69th best team.
Right.
No, my team's the
Nice.
67th best team.
Nice.
Your team's the 63rd. No, 63rd best team.
That's
Is
a
that
better
not
way to
just
put it? Yes.
just ridiculous?
Well, it is ridiculous. You
And
should-
then if you're on that bubble, if they're talking about your team on that bubble, folks, you shouldn't even care.
no, you should.
You're not going to win anything. You're getting into the tournament. Congratulations.
Boy, I mean, the coach.
If
might
you're
wanna-
from Loyola or wherever, yeah. But if you're,
the coach might want to get
Syracuse.
in just because he knows there's
his
a little bit of a
contract.
bonus. There's a little bit of a bonus if I can get in, and the kids get to play a little bit more. The senior season isn't quite over yet, but there's no. Let me tell you, if you're on that bubble, guess what? You're getting invited to the not invited tournament. I promise you that. The NIT, you're getting invited to the not
You
invited.
think
tournament.
Carolina still has that NIT runner-up banner hanging?
Yes.
Oh
I
my
guarantee
God.
they do. And that's hilarious.
Did they hang that?
I don't.
Oh, they didn't.
I don't know.
No, I thought you were being free. They didn't.
I
There's
don't.
no
I
way
don't
they
know, but that
Now,
still makes me mad.
Now they do
To
have
Dayton.
They do have I know they do have NIT champions from back in the 50s.
Oh
and
yeah,
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff.
Well, that was when it was a much that was NCAA wasn't tournament wasn't what it was, and the NIT was a lot.
You had to win the
bigger than how it is
ACC
now.
tournament to get in.
Yeah, that was the only way
to
is
get
to
in
win
the
the conference
tournaments.
tournament. Yeah.
And so that was kind of the old basketball
So
kind of
now
way
the
is how the
NIT is
is how the
turned into a
football
joke.
should be.
Right. Yeah, and now the NIT has turned into a joke. The not
Because there's
invited
68 teams.
What's the other one besides like the basketball tournament or something? Like there's
Tournament.
another.
About the one they hold down in Charlotte.
Listen, what does the,
CIAA.
that's moved
Hey,
to
man.
Baltimore.
They did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wondered
that's-
if that where it was
that
going. I know
sucks,
they
man.
moved
It's
it.
moved to
I
Baltimore.
hate that.
They did. So that's what's so funny. They moved that, and they're bringing in the NBA All-Star game, and they're not going to act like people aren't going to go crazy for that either. They're they're like, no. This is what was so crazy. The reason that
They chose
got,
Baltimore over Charlotte because Baltimore committed an extra like $500,000 to scholarships or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
and
all it was over.
Like the CIAA, they come in and they tear up a bunch of stuff, and the city's like, well, we don't want you back, and now they're deciding to go to Baltimore, and Baltimore's obviously offered them all that. And now
Dude.
Charlotte's like, dang
Dude,
it, we want you back.
We talk about tearing
We want
stuff,
you back.
you talk about tearing stuff up. Last year, when it was Virginia UMBC, that was that, and I can't remember who the other two teams were. That was in Charlotte the same weekend as St. Patrick's Day. You want to talk about tearing stuff up? CIAA didn't have nothing on that. Let's be honest.
Oh, and it wasn't even college fans. It was just St. Patrick Day drunks. Just St.
those are
Patty Day drunks.
those are fun. So Tennessee's 1, Duke's 2, Virginia 3.
I think Tennessee scored 100 points like multiple
Did you
times.
see?
Zaga
Did you
4.
see that Williams kid? Did you see his line from Tennessee the other
It was
night?
like 40.
43 points.
Yeah.
He was what, like 10 or 11 of 15 from the floor. He was 0 of 2 from 3, 23 of 23 from the line.
I won't get it done
And
in
they
the NBA.
still had to go to overtime. to beat
I won't
Vanderbilt.
get it done in the
Yeah.
NBA.
It's that floor, man.
Yeah.
I personally.
You like Vanderbilt's floor?
I was watching it with some friends, and I was really
I
surprised.
like how it's
I was surprised
reversed.
I was
Kinda
surprised.
like how Duke's is.
Yeah,
It's over here
I was
instead.
just surprised that, like, I mean, I have friends, that like sports, and they're like, "What is up with this floor?" And I was like, "Have you never seen a Vanderbilt basketball game?"
Yeah, you better be like, have you ever seen a Boise State game? You want to talk about
It's-
cool field?
it's-
Yeah,
I've not
That's
seen
like the
Vanderbilt's.
Boise State.
Or it's almost like
What's up with their court? I haven't seen it.
It's
I
it's
thought you were talking about
elevated.
the race.
It's
Yeah, it's
elevated.
raised.
Yeah, I know that. Is that all you're talking
They
about?
just
Oh, I
never
thought
seen
you were talking
and sort of the space that you have.
Every
off of the
Final
floor.
Four's been elevated
That's what
for
I'm
the last
saying.
10
That's
years.
exactly what I was gonna say. Like
Really?
all, and that's what it feels
I know,
like.
but think about
I
it. That
can't
means
stand
Vanderbilt.
that.
Means that Vanderbilt, if
Has
they
a-
get there, they've already
They're
been
gonna-
playing on it. They
I
have
can't
an
Well,
stand
advantage.
Vanderbilt's kind of bad this year.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stand that raised floor though.
Well,
you
really,
can barely.
it's dangerous.
Well, it's very dangerous. Well, you're right, but it's also
I want to see like a net around it.
the bench players. Okay, that's who
Like on the
that's
second
who I
level
feel
of
bad
Top
for
Golf.
because they have to practice and run and work out like all the starters and never get to play. And the reward is you get to sit on the front row.
Yeah.
And now you get to
It's not
these
a bad
things.
reward.
They stick you in the ground. Now you're in the dugout. You make it all this far, get to the Final Four. You practice
Right.
all year, and they stick you in the dugout.
Have they?
I'm waiting for the day that, like,
Where is the
And
Final
Roy's
Four
on a,
this year?
and the coaches are sitting on bar stools. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
I'm waiting for a coach to go like full like Tug McGraw and just like stand on it like a baseball manager,
Yeah.
like one knee up, just
You know who'd
peering.
do it? Roy Williams can find a way to do it.
I can't
Well,
believe Roy,
Roy-
fell off the stage.
Yeah,
I mean,
Roy-
Yeah, I was
Roy-
in a
yeah.
rage, just throwing his hat.
Pass out.
in a
Just-
vertigo,
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah.
that does concern me.
Well, they just won't make it, so don't worry about it.
So a couple of let's talk a couple of news and notes. We'll go to good understandings, and then I do want a couple of NBA notes that we didn't get to a minute ago while we're talking the basketball. And
It's basketball season because football's coming to a close, so I hope everybody loves basketball. We got to hear a lot of it.
Spring training's coming up.
yeah, I know. Virginia's in
Yes.
first, Duke's in second, North Carolina third, Syracuse fourth, Louisville fifth, Virginia
ACC
Tech
standings.
sixth, and NC State seventh in the ACC rankings. How about this? You got Vitek moving up the rankings. They're top 10 now. North Carolina's 11. Duke's, of course, 2. Virginia 3. So
Wait, is that current?
Yeah.
That's not.
That came out what, Thursday?
Did it? I was to say because there's no way Virginia Tech should be ranked against North Carolina after just getting beat by 20 something.
this is from Monday or Tuesday.
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
I was about to
okay.
say it's not up. It's not updated.
They don't
flip-flop.
They don't do it every day.
I know they need. They do it. They do it. What
It's
is it,
every
on
Mondays.
Sunday, Mondays.
Mondays.
I
or
th-
Sunday
okay, I
night.
thought it was.
Sunday
I
night
thought
or
it was.
Monday.
Yeah, I thought they did it twice a week for some reason.
No, they only,
Oh,
it's Mondays,
Carson,
I
you
think.
got me all messed up. God, I'm sitting here thinking that's not right.
So,
Y'all got thrashed.
I was going to connect these two about, talking Tar Heels and
Yeah.
everything. Hunter did try to get an interview with a Tar Heel.
I did.
Uh,
Well, I got with one.
he got with one.
I got with one. I tried to get Justin Jackson When I walked in the Kings locker room, he was already gone. I was like, wow.
Was he ever even there?
You don't know. He can't answer it.
I don't know.
Are you sure he wasn't in the shower when you got there?
No,
Are you sure he's still on the Kings?
Listen, someone doing the real job, a real journalist would have went and held their phone inside the shower. And
Whoa! I asked one of their assistant coaches. I said, "Is Justin Jackson here?" He said he's already left. I was like, "Oh, I've been standing here wondering how tall Marvin Bagley is. I didn't even know he was here."
Hunter just like, huh, Justin, just running around the Kings locker. Justin,
so who did you interview? What Tar Heel did you interview?
Marvin Williams.
Oh yeah, that's right. You talked to Marvin.
I talked to Marvin Williams.
And we've started going to these Hornets games, reporting on them. We'll Monday and the Knicks, and but Hunter sent me a text, scared me, Carson, when he sent me and said, "I'm right behind Roy Williams."
I did. I was walking.
That sounds really sketchy out of context.
I was
right behind Roy Williams.
I was so scared of what was about to happen. My first thought was, I hope he doesn't have a KTC shirt on.
I did.
Cause
I was walking in the media entrance and I went to the wrong door. The door was locked and I didn't know who was behind me, and I was like, "Dang, I look like an idiot right now." But it said media entrance, or no, not media. It was like a certain media room. So I walk over to it, but the door was locked.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was that when you first come around
that
the corner, that first door.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh."
I did the same thing.
But so I'm not the only one. Except the only difference is that I turn around to see who's staring at me, thinking I'm an idiot, and it's Roy Williams. I'm like, oh, should I say something?
If he would have said "Dadgum," you would have knew who he was.
And then my mom was like, I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, I walked behind Roy Williams into the media center. It was so cool." She was like, "Did you talk to him?" I was like, "Mom, I'm working. I can't fanboy right now."
Mom, I'm working. But yes, I talked to him. I told him how much I love him.
She was like, "You could have at least walked up to him and said, 'Oh
Did
my
that not
God,
sound like Will
thank you
Ferrell
for
in Old
coming.'"
School? Mom, I'm working right now.
Ma, the meatloaf.
I was like, I'm working. I can't.
My friend Roy's here. Be quiet.
I can't fanboy. Like, I couldn't just be like, "Oh my God, I'm such a big fan." I can't fanboy.
You can't. No, you cannot.
And I couldn't just walk up. He was talking to somebody, and that would have been rude of me to be like,
Hey, Roy.
Roy.
Screw him. Hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
I
Come
love
on my show. We're gonna have
Roy. Hey, Hunter. I love you.
Yeah. I'm so mad that they signed you to an extension. But hi, how are you doing? I'm saying.
No, you should just walked up to him and been like, "Hey, Roy, how's it going?"
So if anyone's been watching YouTube the last 3 minutes and listening on the radio, Hunter sufficiently explained why I was scared when he sent me that text. I didn't have to say anything. He proved everything that I was worried about when he sent me that text, and I'm behind Roy Williams. I just let him talk. He'll do it for me. Good job.
I mean, but I was.
So
he waddled the whole time. It was hilarious.
Oh.
So a few weeks back, I got to talk to Dirk Nowitzki and ask him like what I thought was 5 dumb questions. It turns out that all I did was break news across the world.
For Bleacher Report basically stole from us. Thank you, credit.
I got Dirk. I got Dirk commenting on one-on-one of Luka that Bleacher Report stole. Mm-hmm. I asked Dirk about shooting in the 3-point contest. He said no. What they just announced yesterday, he was invited to shoot in the 3-point contest.
Look at that.
Well, what else did I ask Dirk about while I was there? Hey, Dirk, what do you think about Vince Carter in the dunk contest?
Yeah.
Mark Stein, them asking, or they're all talking, trying to get that going and talking through Dirk to get Vince in the dunk contest now.
Are we not the best
Someone call
radio group or what?
Call us. At least tag us when you use our stuff. ESPN, Bleacher Report, all these people.
ESPN needs to do that. They're bad about stealing
tag
stuff.
us and not steal us. That if you want to steal from a multi-billion-dollar company, that's fine.
Yeah.
But how about the little guys? Give us some credit.
Yeah.
You could go online and watch everything that's happened to Dirk in the last 2 weeks and see the interview that I asked him. I ask him every question that happened the next 2 weeks.
Do you know how hard it is to come up with some of this stuff on the spot?
I know.
And that's what we have to do. Credit us at least. Especially if it's a good question.
Especially when Hunter's sweating over Roy being next to him. We don't know what to say. Well, asking for a date?
Roy.
I mean, his wife was right there. I don't think she'd been too happy. But I would have said she could have joined.
Oh,
Whoa! And with that bombshell.
That's wrong on so many levels, Hunter.
All right, you can call Hunter at 704-555-5555.
Voice your concern for his mental health.
Yeah, or his physical health. Any of that
after a date with old Roy.
Any of that is fine. Oh
man.
goodness. All right, so
man.
you know what I was getting at was All-Star Weekend. Bridges says he's going to dunk. We might have Dirk in it. If they can talk Vince into it, because
who
this
else
is Michael.
Who I said I would like to see, Dennis Smith.
Yep, he
Dennis
is
Smith's
too.
going to take part, and he's gonna blow that rim up.
We don't know what
He
team.
is.
We don't know what even team he's going to be playing for. Then he's been in a rift here with the Mavericks the past couple weeks.
He only came back a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say that he came back a few days ago. They actually were able to contact him.
He might be wearing He might be wearing an NC State jersey in the dunk contest. If
I mean, he might. He
might
probably
pull a Levine and pull a Looney Tunes.
No, he won't.
No, God no.
Did State pay him more than
That's
Dallas is right
exactly
now?
what I was.
They paid him $70,000.
Oh, that's all.
I bet say not.
That's
off
about-
the signing
That's
bonus.
reported. Oh, that was the
Oh,
report.
I'm sorry. That's not. What are we talking about? You know, I'm sorry. They didn't want to hear that. Zion, what is he getting paid right now, dude? Can we,
High quality Duke education.
For 3 months, the same that Kyrie Irving got.
Yeah, boy.
Did they put that on the basketball recruiting brochure? Come to Duke, get the same education that Kyrie got.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving.
Be as smart as Kyrie.
He played 5 games.
He did.
And they still consider him a Duke alum.
Stupid
I mean,
turf toe.
Hey, I don't think he should be a Duke alum. I don't.
He's
if
not
you
an
play-
alum.
If you
Yeah,
play
he's not an
5
alum. None of them are alums.
I mean, you're
anyway.
right. You're right. But even still, like
You
he'll
attended.
show up to Duke games. I'm like, well, you're just a fan. You didn't play.
Put it this way. Yeah.
No. He
You're
sends
just a
them
fan.
He sends them like Duke special Kyries. They love it.
Oh, would you want a Duke
Hunter's like,
special
I've been to
Kyrie,
more
or
Duke
would you
games
like
than
a
Kyrie
nice
has.
off-white Jordan that Michael's going to send you? I mean, hey,
Isn't it so?
that you can just sell later.
Isn't it ridiculous?
Chaz.
Isn't it ridiculous that that's what I was about to say? Isn't it ridiculous that the coaches are
That's like
this shoes
those
thing?
like the off-white Jordans like that. There's like only
Dude,
they
those
only
are-
made like
Aren't they-
500.
Don't they auction those off too and stuff?
They only made they only made
I
500
think-
of them.
Did you see LeBron
So the school's
had a
making
pair?
well, whoever's making money off of somebody's making money off of them, but
Yeah.
Chaz can't sell his.
I think PJ Tucker has a pair of them too.
you know
Dude,
those
them
shoes.
off-whites is hot. They are, dude.
they're not bad.
They were sweet. And Roy rocked them. Okay, now he rocked them. He it's like he kind of purposefully tucked his pants legs in there. So
He
you get a
didn't
little bit of
have
the off-whites.
vertigo. Maybe he's just wearing
He
them all the
didn't.
time.
Yeah, he just needs to wear them all the time. And then look who has to copy the North Carolina swag. LeBron James, like a few days later, is rocking his. I'm like,
So-
who wore it better, Roy or LeBron?
Last thing I get into
Turned into E-News.
in the next minute. So
Who wore it
this-
better?
we aren't really going to get into this, but looking at some of these bonuses, and I got Dabo written down, and I can't remember the bonus that he
I
got
don't
for
even
winning
wanna
the
know.
championship. But I do know the Alabama defensive coordinators paid $2 million a year.
Dude, the strength and conditioning coach Scott Cochran at Alabama makes.
It's $890,000 is the last thing I
Yeah.
saw.
Well, I want to know how much this man for the Rams makes
Push
just
up.
pulling Sean McVay back and forth.
Well, we'll talk about that in a little
That's
bit.
a
So,
pro team. They can do
the
whatever they want.
push-up
That's a
co-
private
yeah.
institution.
The push-up coach at Alabama makes $800,000. So
AJ Blue at
Push-up.
North Carolina makes God knows how much money
So for
as
the-
a strength and conditioning coach.
So for an example, $890,000 for divided by out-of-state tuition in Alabama is. Whoa, I'm gonna have to do that again.
Listen, I don't think you did that right
890,000 divided by 40,000 tuition in Alabama. 22 kids
Uh-huh.
in the state of Alabama
Right.
didn't go to Alabama college this year
Yeah.
because they had to pay the push-up coach.
Mm.
They don't never do the math when they do it like that, do they?
No.
Because if you look at we give away all these scholarships. Well, you do. Well, the push-up coach gets $890,000.
Right.
You
for
can
the
give 22
push-up.
kids in
Push-up
Alabama.
coach.
You can give 22 kids in Alabama a full ride to Alabama for that year.
How many? And the other thing.
Now
like,
that's 890,000. Think about when we start getting into the millions.
How many teams? How many athletic teams at Alabama have a strength and conditioning coach? Because they don't have one. Like
Just the one guy.
football probably has one. Basketball probably has one.
The Big Three probably has one. Football, basketball, baseball.
I don't even know if I mean
You know,
baseball
how
probably
about
does.
this?
But what about? I mean, like go to women's sports. Did they have one for women's basketball? Did they have one for softball? Did they have one for girl field hockey?
Right. Is it the same push-up coach at all of them?
I mean,
Well,
if
that's
you're
what I
gonna,
would
I mean,
to
like
know.
that's
Is it that
that's where you
maybe-
need the
is it
Title
like
IX.
just a strength and conditioning coach for
I
the
think it's
whole
just-
school.
I don't know. But how about this?
That would make more sense to me. Him
That
making
would.
that kind of
So,
money than just
when-
for the football
when
team.
when Saban retires, he'll be pulling a $2.4 million pension.
That makes me mad.
Pension. That's right at what Roy's getting paid right now. So now with that money in, you know how many kids a year don't get to go to college?
I'm looking at your numbers.
60 kids in Alabama over. So let's pay retired football coach $2.5 million a year.
You could give tuition to like a whole floor of a dorm.
Or 60 kids a year can go tuition free to Alabama.
People think he still needs the $2.5 million when he's at home sitting on his
He
butt.
deserves that.
I don't.
That's what people say.
First off, how has he not made enough money to like have enough?
Why are you getting a pension on why should you get a pension on a $9 million public
job?
How
old is Saban? Into his 60s already?
He's in his 60s. He probably can coach till he's at least 70.
Well, I mean,
you don't need to.
That's
the
thing.
Same thing with Kay and
how many jobs allow you to work that long? Not many. So if he's going to work that long and be able to make that much more money, why? Yeah, like you said,
which
why does
is
he need a
why,
pension?
and I mean, we can talk about this later, but I'm just going to say it. Which is why I am not upset that these NFL teams are hiring a bunch of young guys to try and be coaches. You got to replace the old guys at some point.
Yeah.
Not everybody can coach till they're 70, 75. I know that Bruce Arians came back. He's in his 70s.
How about this, Carson?
60s, yeah, late 60s.
Let's say Alabama, state of Alabama governor, whoever wants to listen to this. You have Nick Saban getting $9 million a year.
Yes.
The assistant gets $2 million. If you paid an assistant or someone else in America $2 million to coach Alabama, will they have a pretty good team still? Will they still have a good football team? And,
I mean, if they're
a university?
recruiter, if they're a recruiter, like
if you paid, Mac Brown, that's about what he's going to be making over here. If you paid Mac the same thing at Alabama, would they be successful if they paid Mac Brown $2 million?
So you're just saying, like, just change into the guard right now. Saban gone.
I'm just saying,
bring
instead
the
of
guy
paying
in.
a coach $9 million, can you pay one for $2 million and get the same production at Alabama?
Well, the Patriots think that with all their players.
Okay, now let's say if that's true.
It's true. They don't want to overpay for.
Well, let's say this, Carson. Instead of the $9 million, I'm just saying they pay him the $2 million. The reason I'm saying $2 million, that's what the defensive coordinator makes.
Yeah. Okay.
So the defensive coordinator is getting the $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
If you took away the $9 million from Saban, this is how many kids could go to school in Alabama for free. The state of Alabama, not pay Nick Saban. Nothing else changes in the whole state. No other taxes, no other nothing. 225 students.
Yeah.
225
That's a lot of seniors that are filling out a lot of stuff for FAFSA.
That was my high school graduating class.
Yeah, it was
mine was like 110 or 115.
That was mine. Yeah.
So
I was in the 200s.
Think about that. 200 kids a year don't go to college so they can pay Nick Saban.
Yep.
That's when you start looking. That's the way. We're not talking about paying players. We're not talking about anything. I'm talking about just free education for Alabama kids. For poor kids in Alabama. That's all I was asking. All right, JP.
NARPs, as they say.
We got a phone caller on the line before our next break, and I'm glad we give us a call this morning. Big win last night. Trevor Lineman coach Scott Harrell's on the line, and they've been on a roll. Lane's been on a roll. Congratulations, Coach. And I do got another question here in a minute about some wrestling here in a minute about in the Gazette. But let's talk about that basketball team first, Coach. How you guys doing right now?
Yes, sir, Kevin. We're doing well. We had a good team win last night. Had a lot of kids contributed, a couple kids off the bench that really gave us solid defensive minutes. Andrew Clark and Jason Pitts. And just good to get a road win.
Well, Coach, I was up at Burns last night, so I didn't get to listen to it. Carson sat here and was listening to your game last night, and said it was a pretty good game to listen to. Congratulations on that. Lane of 25 right now. He broke your scoring record, you said, last week. How's the week been since that? Has he been any little smack talking for Dad, or has he said he's going to get more? Any of that going on?
No, him and his mama like to talk a lot, I think, about Dad. Dad's just an old man now. I'm slowing down in my age.
Is that what
but
it is?
yeah, but you got to be proud of him. He's worked hard in the off season, and glad to see that hard work's paying off for him. And Levante Hughes worked really hard in the off season, and you like to see when kids put in that time that the rewards come back to them once the season starts.
Well, Coach, last night, Bessemer City upset, Piedmont Charter. That was the big news in overtime last night. Now,
yes, that kind of helps the conference out, all come back together. Give people a chance to catch up to Piedmont and Bessemer City right back in the race. And I think any given night, I think Highland can beat anybody, Bessemer, Piedmont. I think it's just any given night. We played pretty well Tuesday night against Lincoln Charter and just fell short. We were down 6 with 3 minutes to go and couldn't get a couple shots to fall there at the end, and then end up having to foul to try to stop the clock and lost by 10. But they're a really, really sound ball club, Lincoln Charter is, and I was proud of the effort the kids gave Tuesday night. They didn't back down. They played hard all the time and had a chance right there at the end, and that's all you can ask for against Lincoln Charter.
Coach, do you think this conference and here in the West, the line, East-West, that changes every day. How do you, conference-wise, do you think it's one of the best 1A conferences here in the West?
I think it's got a lot of good competition here this year. I do. I think over there with Bishop McGuinness, East Surrey, Mount Airy, Winston-Salem Prep, that's always going to be one of your top 1A conferences over there with great competition. But I feel like our conference will stack up well in the playoffs when it comes time.
You got Thomas Jefferson and that Sugar Creek Charter School. You ever played them before?
We have played Sugar Creek last year and again this year. They're a new charter school just trying to get in our conference for the future. They're down in Charlotte.
Okay.
And then we'll have Piedmont at home on Friday.
And then
so that could be it could be a big week ahead for us.
And then at Bessemer City after that, right? So
yes, and that'll be a really tough road game, tough place to go in there and play.
You guys are 14-3 overall, 2-2 in the conference. You just talk about Lincoln Charter right now, 4-0 in the conference, 14-5 overall, and Piedmont Charter 12-2. These are before last night's games, folks. When I'm reading these stats, so you guys are 15-3 right now, 3-2 in the conference, or
yes,
is that
sir.
update?
No, that's correct. That's correct.
That
14-3
okay,
and
they did get
2-2. Yes.
Last night when me and Carson was doing the show, they had an update. Of course, they had an update. Yeah, that was extremely quick. But they got it before this morning. So you guys are 2-2, 14-3 overall, and so you got it.
14-3. I believe I'll take that.
Yeah,
not bad.
Most coaches, I think, would. Are you losing sleep over those three? Is that the problem?
No, well, you won early in the
That's
year
the one you
against
think
North
about
Gaston.
it,
We'd just that one I'd like to have a chance to play North Gaston again. We had just got our football players the day before we played that game, and actually 3 of the football players didn't even play because they was battling some injuries. So we had one practice before we played that game. So I think we're a totally different team now.
And a lot of people do not realize. I was talking to a former player, a guy I played with back in the days, about transferring from football shape to basketball shape. They don't realize it's totally different, right?
Totally different. You can ask our football kids, when they get out there to start running, by the end of the first quarter, they're just dead tired. And they said it's not the same. Football, you play a play, maybe run 10 yards, but then you got a 30, 40-second break.
Yeah, you walk back
play
to
another
the
play.
Too.
That's right. Basketball's just up and down.
That's what I was talking about together. I was like, the ones that play corner and safety and wide receiver, they have a little bit better chance at it, but it's just 40 yards, 40 yards, 40 yards, 40, up and down the court all night, and it's totally different type of breathing and everything. And the running backs, they're the ones that on the football field you think are, they're in shape. They're the ones that run, and they get on the basketball court, they huff. And they puff.
They're still tired. And that's terrible. We like to play an up-tempo style, so you got to be in pretty good shape because we do try to push the ball and run and, press and try to get things going. So it does take those kids getting in shape, and it takes a little while. But they're all coming together, playing really well as a team. Can't say enough about Levante Hughes, just how he runs our team from the point guard as a sophomore. Just always under control. Then Nathan Jeffers, our senior center, last night finally had his breakout game that we've been waiting on. He had 23 points. Really good shooter. He just had trouble getting in a rhythm the last few weeks, but he got it back last night, so I was happy for him.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck this week. I do want to get a couple of comments here about you wrestler here in the paper this week, Sean Kostick. Let's see, he picked up his 100th win. He's currently 35-1. You want to make a few comments about your wrestling team this year? You guys doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think they're 5 times in a row they've won the conference championship now. Coach Powers does an awesome job with them. You know, Sean, he went to the state championship, and he really feels like he's got a chance to win the individual state this year. So just a hard-working kid, a good, quiet kid that goes out and does his job every day on the football field and the wrestling mat. And, you know, they've got a lot of good, solid wrestlers. Jaden Blanton's another kid that's got a great record.
I was going to ask you about Jaden real quick because we just got done talking about the transfer of sports. I don't know if I've ever seen a running back be a wrestler. Do you see,
you don't see that
A
often.
lot of those?
No, yeah.
No, Jaden's such a good athlete. I'd love to have him on the basketball court. You know, he can jump. He's big, strong, but he uses his quickness and his strength really well on a wrestling mat. And you know, Coach Powers is really teaching him technique here over the last 2 years, and I think you'll see him qualifying for the state hopefully this year, if not definitely next year in wrestling. He's doing a really good job too.
All right, Coach. Well, you got any big plans this weekend?
No, we're going to work around the church today and then have dinner tonight and just enjoy it. We got about 3 college visits coming up over the next 3 weeks with Lane, and so try to take this weekend off. Last weekend I did have a chance. If anybody has not seen East Lincoln play and Sidney Dollar, it's worth the price of admission.
Yeah,
he is a basketball player, and I went and watched him and Zeke Littlejohn go at it from Kings Mountain. Right. I'm going to be in the East-West All-Star game coaching, so trying to get around to see as many of the kids as I can play. And Sidney Dollar's a special talent. If anybody in the area has not seen him play, it's worth it.
Some of the ones that, you know, you coach, and like you said, you don't really get to see a lot of the kids play. I'll mention a couple of ones maybe. If you look up at Burns, you got to see Rayshawn McDowell play. Really solid basketball player, can finish with either hand, inside out. I really like watching him play. Zeke's good, of course, at Kings Mountain. If you want high energy players, talk to either one of the Pace Hour kids at Kings Mountain, and you'll get all the energy you could ever want.
Lane has played a lot of summer ball with both of those kids. He played with Eli 3 years ago, and then Kobe this past year. So I love watching those 2 Pacer kids play. Eli, he's an emotional leader man, he's all over the place.
He's fun. We love doing the game when we do the Kings Mountain games. He comes over and talks to us and says hello. And
Daniil Mackins at us is one of the smoothest guys out there.
Yes,
he's just a guy. I mean, you see him play, and smooth is the best word for it. He doesn't overexert himself. He takes shots in the flow of the game. Everything he does, nothing seems forced.
Well, Coach, I thought you might have some ice fishing planned for the weekend.
Well, no, Trevor's out fishing. He went fishing at Lake Norman yesterday. He's got a couple college tournaments coming up with the bass fishing team at Appalachian. So he's been at Norman yesterday and going today to practice fish for his next 2 upcoming tournaments out there. So, but old Dad, he don't get to go out there much with him. He takes that boat and he's on the road.
All right, Coach. Well, have a good weekend, buddy.
All right, man. Thanks for what you do.
All right,
talk to you soon.
That's Coach Scott Harold, chair lineman, AD, and also basketball coach, named the coach of the decade a few years back. I guess it was the last decade. This decade's not over with yet, is it?
Not quite.
Still got a couple more years left to work with. He was my receivers coach 1 year in football. He was my head basketball, JV basketball coach. And
he coached old T-Wiz, Terry Wisn't?
Yes, he did. Yeah. Not the senior. He played. I think he was a few years after the senior. You're not that old, Scott. I said you played with Terry.
No,
close.
Not with. Coached him.
He actually almost played with his dad. He coached the CA.
Yeah.
Not that old, I don't think. Played basketball at Appalachian State too. Huh. All right, so we got to take a break. JP, you ready? Got your buttons ready? Get your fingers ready. We're gonna be back. We got to talk NFL. Here's a fun topic we kind of got into last night, Carson, and Coach Harold just mentioned it. They didn't have that at Appalachian when I was there. What kind of sports would you like to see added to high schools? You know, some schools are farming schools or electric schools or engineering, something like that.
Competitive farming.
Oh, I know some farming.
Some schools.
You went to one.
I know. I went to
you
one.
Went to
some
one.
schools are better. Yeah. Some schools are better at basketball, football, and wrestling. Is it time for teams to do more of a specializing, or schools specialize in certain sports or other sports, or instead of doing every sport?
Yeah.
Instead of doing every sport, do a couple sports. Great. All right, JP, let's take a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
We're here because your mother doesn't trust anyone else. Your daughter just got her license. Your son needs a dependable car for school. Or maybe you just appreciate honesty, which is exactly what you get at Classic Ford of Shelby. Whether shopping for one of our 200 new Fords in stock or one of our quality pre-owned vehicles starting as low as $3,000, you get honest service at a hometown price. Welcome to our family. Classic Ford of Shelby, the hometown store that gives you more.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-host Thomas Rhett, who explains what it means to be a sneakerhead.
The very first pair of shoes that I ever bought with my own money were the Nike Air Max Ken Griffey Jr. edition. If I could find those today in my size, I'd probably be doing shoe shopping.
That's Thomas Rhett this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, 1590 AM and 92.3 FM, WCSL. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com. Okay, now's the time to buy your new Kia. That's right, your new Kia is waiting for you at Ronaldo Kia at Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby. Right now, you can buy a brand new Kia for only $14,988. That's right, only $14,988. And you say, oh yeah, there's only one left on the lot. Not at Ronaldo Kia. How about 30 to choose from? All with full warranties, only $14,988 for your new Kia from Ronaldo Kia at Ronaldo Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RonaldoAutomall.com. Okay, now's the time to buy your new Kia. That's right, your new Kia is waiting for you at Ronaldo Kia at Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby. Right now, you can buy a brand new Kia for only $14,988. That's right, only $14,988. And you say, oh yeah, there's only one left on the lot. Not at Ronaldo Kia. How about 30 to choose from? All with full warranties, only $14,988 for your new Kia from Ronaldo Kia at Ronaldo Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RonaldoAutomall.com.
Carpenter Porter Funeral and Cremation Services in Cherryville is there for you in your time of need. They're a progressive and comprehensive funeral service provider, promoting the highest ethical and professional standards while maintaining cost-effective service. Funeral directors John Porter and Hannah Garrett are there to help you and give you guidance during one of life's most difficult times. For more information, call 704-435-6711. Located at 1100 East Main Street in Cherryville and online at carpentersfuneralhome.net, a member of the National Funeral Directors Association.
There's no one like you. And Pandora Jewelry is opening up all kinds of possibilities to show that to the world with the new open bangle. Beautifully crafted from sterling silver with new interchangeable end caps. You can mix, match, and even have the freedom to customize like never before. Shop the new open bangle from Pandora Jewelry now and do see the wonderful Pandora Jewelry. Available at Facet Foundry Jewelry Studios, 530 South New Hope Road, Gastonia. Online at FacetFoundryJewelry.com.
Hunter, I can't trust you. I can't trust you.
What?
All right, what?
Sports to add to high school. I mean, it's a variation of
all
what
right,
we
so
were speaking of. It's ping pong. I mean, if they're gonna have it in the dang Olympics, you know, maybe you should
call
just have
it
a ping
what it
pong
is. Call it
thing.
water pong.
Okay, yeah.
That's
water
how we
pong.
got. I mean,
Water
that's
pong.
that. Listen.
That's what it is now.
Okay, first off,
you don't play with beer in the actual cup anymore because
No,
it ruins the cup.
I never did that.
First of all,
I've
only pros play with beer in the cups.
Yeah, because they're professional drinkers.
Exactly. So let's because
I have never played
Hunter,
beer pong.
If you don't miss
with beer in the cup,
and you put more than half a beer in each cup, you don't.
yeah, I mean, you play one game, you're like, let's get it, let's go.
I've seen liquor pong. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, yeah, boy.
All right, so we're gonna name some.
Yeah, boy.
Nice. So we're gonna name some sports. Y'all say
did
yay
go to
or nay
Appalachian.
that you would like to see at your high school.
Okay.
Aerobics. That's not a sport.
That's stretching.
This is a high school clothing company that's got a list of all these sports that you can put on your T-shirt. So this is where I get this list from. Archery.
Wouldn't that be a part of hunter safety?
Pinnacle Academy in Cleveland County does archery. They're a national champion actually in archery.
God, would you look at that? Because I know with hunter safety, you can go and do shooting competitions.
All right,
with,
guys, y'all ready for
guns.
this one? Australian rules football.
So
Yes,
rug-
yes.
Dude.
What's the difference? Is it like
Oh,
is it
there-
rugby?
It's
is it
like,
rugby or is
it's
it
like
not
yeah
rugby?
no it's like if
it's the ultimate rugby.
It's like if football was
Yeah.
played like rugby, so there's no pads.
No, okay, so it's
Australian
football
rules,
no
football.
pads.
Yeah.
Football rules, no
Aussie
pads.
rules football. Yeah.
Basically,
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
kids don't play it today. This is how I grew up playing sports.
Yeah,
Our whole
yeah.
neighborhood would go out in the yard.
And just hit
We'd
the
have
piss
10 to
out of
15
each other.
people, and there would be an argument.
Yeah.
2 questions: are we playing shirts and skins, and are we playing tackle or tag? And there was always a big argument over which one of those. And now I don't even know if kids play tackle football
This is a
outside
funny
anymore.
story because it goes off that when I was in elementary school, with recess, they would just send like per
Oh,
grade out
yeah.
there.
Get our
Well,
ways.
they would send 2 grades at a time out there, so it was 6th grade and 5th grade. You know, you're just one above each other. Well, they said we couldn't bring a football outside anymore because it would turn into 6th graders versus 5th graders, and it would just end up in a mosh pit because
Well, see-
essentially there was a kid out there as a 6th grader that seriously was a man child. He was 6'3".
Oh my God!
Oh yeah, he was
We-
huge, and he
I've
would
seen
just
them.
he would
we
hit
had
everybody.
we had a set of twins at Cherryville that were, I would say 6'2", 220, and when they were 13, and could run a 4.4.
I mean,
twins.
The kid was country strong.
So we'd get to little league tournaments and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, what's up, coach?" And they're like, "I'm 12."
I am 12.
They'd pull
I'm
a
12.
pull a bench warmers. give
Oh,
him 20
that
bucks.
12-year-old could whip anybody in this park right now. He looks like the Rock era. All right, badminton.
Oh man, I would love to play badminton.
High school badminton.
I would love that.
Would you watch that?
Listen, the reason I played tennis in high school, first off, like my arm is jacked up. I couldn't walk up to the baseball coach and be like, "Hey, coach, I can play baseball, but I can only when we warm up, I can throw like 10 times, and then I need to save myself for the rest of the game."
I'll Chuck Knobloch it.
You can't tell the coach that. You just can't.
Can
I
we say that tetherball?
Well, I got a list here.
Yeah.
Just
So
hold on.
I played tennis because first off, there's no cuts on the tennis team. Second off, our tennis coach didn't make us run,
Can't get cut.
even
don't
though
have
it's
to run.
tennis.
Can't get cut
and
if there's no cuts.
And okay, so the tennis coach was just like he was just out there to be basically a supervisor.
Right. Yeah.
The only thing he taught us first day every year. All right, guys, just gonna let you go out when you want to move up. You challenge somebody, blah blah blah. I'm only gonna teach you one thing: when you hit them with the ball, it's your point. And we're like, got it, coach.
That's the strategy.
That's
Hunter
the
Huss
strat.
tennis, baby.
That's the strat.
Hunter Huss tennis.
Golly. I will
So,
say
I would love to apply that to badminton. That's basically what I was.
I'm pretty good at like all the basic real sports. But once we start getting into the volleyballs and the soccers,
I can't
it's
put
like,
my elbows
exactly,
together
I can't
for
hit a
volleyball.
You
So
said
what?
you did soccer like that? That's the realest sport in the world.
It's not a sport. It's a communist children's
It's
activity.
cross country with a ball.
Right,
It's a
okay.
communist children's activity.
It's
That's
cross
it.
country with a ball.
Okay,
But
the
it-
World Cup is not just the largest venue in the
No,
world. It's
listen.
okay.
I'm not saying it's not a sport. All I'm saying is it's cross country.
A lot
with
of
a ball.
a lot of people watch cheerleading too, Hunter. It's not.
It's not
Yeah, but
cheerleading
it's-
anymore.
yeah,
It's
but
like
it's-
tumbling or whatever.
Yeah, it's like
they call it.
extreme acro sports.
so
whatever.
you could buy a shirt now.
Acro sports.
I'm buying this shirt.
Oh my God.
I'm buying this shirt.
What a
for,
great word.
Buying this shirt for Hunter. You can buy a Bandy's Trojan bench warmer shirt.
just with what?
You can so you put
What does that even mean?
You're a bench warmer. What do you mean? What does that mean?
I mean,
You just
literally.
put bench warmer on it.
exactly.
This
Hunter.
is it. I'm doing
exactly.
it right now.
Exactly.
I'm a
That's
pro.
a great sport.
So
bench
this
warmers.
T-shirt company lists like all the sports that you can put on these T-shirts. So it says basketball, baseball, blah. So that's where I'm getting this list. One of them, the options is
Bobsled.
bench warmer.
Is biathlon like the where you ski and then shoot?
Yes.
That's okay. I was making sure that's what I understood.
Bobsledding.
That would be
Give
good
me
at
yes
bandies.
or-
Let's
yes
be
or nays.
honest.
Wow, why would
Biathlon.
that be good at bandies?
With no snow.
All I gotta do is learn how to ski.
Watauga.
You going?
Watauga.
Ooh,
I mean,
yeah.
a mountain school would love it.
Watauga
Well, I mean,
should
I'm
do
just talking about shooting.
biathlons.
Oh,
Bobs-
you're talking about biathlon.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Bowling.
I thought you said bobsled.
You want to be on a high school bowling teams?
Did,
I don't
did-
understand
did
why
either,
there's not.
Did either of y'all go bowling in in
PE?
PE?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
We
Yeah,
did, I did
wasn't-
not.
yeah, I wasn't the only
We didn't
one.
have. I wasn't near a bowling alley.
We were.
Yeah.
We were.
He
I
would-
mean,
there would be
in
days
PE.
he would come and say, "All right, don't none of y'all bring clothes tomorrow. We're just going."
I wish I did
We
because
had-
I'm garbage at bowling. Like I
ours-
said, any
ours
of these
was at-
secondary sports,
we
I'm
Ours
go
was
there
every
garbage at.
Friday.
Yeah, we
go.
well,
And, I mean, like you know where Huss is. Like
Yeah.
you know where the Liberty Lanes is. That
It's
bowling
just
alley
down the
right around the
street.
corner.
it's so funny. He'd be like, "Y'all
Yeah,
don't-"
did y'all walk?
No, we took a bus.
I was wondering.
I'm not.
No, they're close enough to walk.
Oh,
probably.
we're not. We
With
would
bad
That would've-
neighborhood.
It's
would
not
go-
even
we
a
would
bad
go to the-
neighborhood. It's hilly. I don't
we
want
would
to
go
walk.
to the
up
bowling alley in Newton, and it would be so funny. Bob Kelly, Mr. Kelly, he would always be like, "All right, now don't y'all miss this bowling
Well,
trip."
I was wrong.
That's what he said. Don't miss this bowling trip.
I was wrong. Oh crap! You can be a
Oh.
you can be class clown. Look at this.
That's a thing.
Class clown. It's on the t-shirts. I went ahead and put it on the shirts.
That's better than.
I'm gonna change the school to
baseball.
Bandy just so we can laugh at.
Please,
This
God.
is Merrick High School class clown. You can get class clown printed on your shirt and your high school name on it. So let's go down the list. We got some more fun
Cricket.
ones. Cricket. I watched that in London for 2 straight weeks.
I really would like to
It's
learn.
not terrible.
I would like to learn. Like all I know.
If there was more than one other thing to watch besides that in
Yeah.
soccer, I would have probably liked it more. But it was not terrible.
I would like to learn how to bowl.
It's
properly.
exciting.
I
It
know
really.
you just can't break. Like
Couldn't you
gotta-
just play it
can't
on a
break your
baseball
elbow.
field? Like you wouldn't really have to. do it?
Essentially, but it's when you
Like
throw it.
Americanize it,
When you
just play it on
throw
a
it, you're on flat ground. You're not on a mound like you are in baseball.
These dudes can
Shovel it away.
spank them things.
Maybe- well, and how
Jesus.
far away are you from throwing it?
I don't
High
know.
school
Man.
disc golf.
Yes.
When will that start?
Dude, I
It's
would
already
play
a thing in
that.
Asheville. I just feel like
I
it.
would play that. Disc
I
golf is fun.
suck.
But just about
at-
this,
at
well,
that.
think about all the kids that aren't into some of these like the pure athletes that can play football or basketball. Some of these other side sports could be good activities. Make them at least make them into clubs. How about
Well,
a club?
what is it? They
Disc
show,
golf club.
they show
Yeah.
every now and then on TV these colleges go out there and partake in extreme frisbee.
Well, do they have timber sports?
First
They
of
have
all-
college timber sports.
First of all, take the word extreme out of frisbee.
That's what it is.
Unless
It's
they're
literally
tackling.
extreme frisbee.
Unless they're tackling.
Ultimate.
Okay,
They,
ultimate
that's what they
frisbee,
call
whatever.
it. And then
Whatever.
remember what I said earlier about the.
It's football with a frisbee.
Remember what
calm
I
down.
said
Not the
earlier
comments.
about the kids that don't go outside and play tackle football anymore.
Yeah.
We did that in college.
Yeah.
In the quad, we played tackle football. On the other side of the quad was the guys throwing the frisbees. I'll just let you know which side the girls were watching.
Frisbees.
yeah,
Yeah.
Those are the hairy.
Look at his- look at
those
his-
are
look
the
his wrist.
I said not the hippie girls, the regular girls.
It doesn't matter. They're still watching because, oh my God, I want to go play frisbee.
They're not watching that.
Oh, man.
Dude, floor hockey. Floor hockey would be awesome.
Dodgeball. Why do we not have high school dodgeball?
At least, like you said,
How
club.
ridiculous
they
would
took
that be?
dodgeball away. You don't get to use the big leather ball.
You don't
Use
think-
them little soft things where no one gets
Oh,
hurt.
yeah, the Nerf
How many?
ball.
Who cares?
How many?
And they
high-
don't throw the
How many
same
high school
either.
basketball gyms aren't filled up for basketball? How many, do you not think that they would fill one of those up for dodgeball?
Dude, if I saw a kid do some of the flips and stuff I see
Dodgeball.
on the internet in a dodgeball match, I'm losing my mind.
I
gotta-
mean, floor hockey would be solid. Don't sleep on floor hockey.
Why is there not men's softball?
They know. Well, fast
Thank
pitch.
you. Thank you. Well, it would be slow pitch for men.
I don't care if it's slow or fast. I don't want to see men's fast pitch. Why not?
Yeah, really. It's a natural arm motion.
Why not? Fencing, field hockey, figure
Flag.
skating.
Why do we not play flag football?
There probably should be some form of.
I mean-
in the spring, you could
Or-
easily play flag in the spring.
honestly,
why
7
don't
on
the,
7 flag.
Why don't they? That would be great.
Honestly, why
That'd probably
don't
be
you do that in middle school, where you don't
Yeah.
you don't need contact football in middle school? You just
Well,
don't.
you know, more than likely it's going to go there.
It should.
It's going to
It
go
should.
there.
And then people are gonna get mad. You can't play flag football. Those are the people that don't have any skills. though.
Those are the people who.
Yeah,
Here's
those
the
are the linemen
Here's
that
the
are
question.
coming-
Here's
that's
the
the
question.
linemen.
Are you gonna? Here's the question though. Are you gonna have multiple teams at one school for flag football? Because
You
anybody
could.
can play flag football.
Have
Are you gonna
boys,
cut?
girls,
Are you
mi-
gonna cut
co-eds.
a kid for flag football?
Yeah, there's only 7 spots on the field.
Yeah, 7 on 7. That's what I'm saying.
You
Well,
have
well, you can-
60 people on the sidelines.
You can have offense and defense. I
That's
mean,
true too.
All right, so 14.
All right, we've got. Let's go down some of the list.
Horse
Hockey,
racing.
We
straight
talked
up
handball last night.
Oh, dude, I
seen
want to play
handball?
that.
That's
play-
kinda
I've
Inner
played it.
tube
It's fun.
basketball.
Inner
Inner
What is
tube
that?
basket. It sounds like you're
Dude,
playing basketball on a
dude,
lazy river. Is
This
what
is
it sounds
awesome.
like.
I've never done any of this.
on a lazy river.
It's just like, and
I
he's
was
driving.
Hell,
like-
and
So is that like
still going?
So is it water polo? But inner tube basketball?
Is it like-
Are we
There's
in,
inner tube water polo.
are we in floaties? Like as an adult or adult people
Are adult
sitting in
men
like the
in
diaper floaties? That's like how do you
jump rope. They have a jump rope team.
There are jump rope teams, though. I feel like they
Double-
go around,
is
but
that-
they,
okay,
but they
that
do
was double
performances.
I was gonna say there's a difference between jump rope and double dutch. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Double Dutch, you
No,
need
no,
3
no, no, no,
people.
no. Okay,
Jump
I know
rope, you can do that by yourself.
I know. I'm saying there's like a group that goes around and they like it's like jump rope club almost.
Yeah, no,
They
yeah, I get it.
perform at high schools.
I get it.
For like halftime.
Ping pong, there it is. Racquetball.
That's fun.
Racquetball is
I love
so
racquetball. Now, racquetball.
Racquetball is low key one of the most tiring sports you will ever
That's what
play
I was
in your
about to
life.
say. If you ever want to work out and
Dear
get
God.
some hand-eye coordination,
Yeah.
play racquetball. You may die.
What about
if
this?
you
What about
get hit
this?
in the back of the
Yeah, what
head.
about this? You
Or I got
said-
hit one time in the smack back of the in the neck, and I thought I'd been sniped.
You said this. You
kind of
okay,
did.
so you said softball for men. How about kickball?
Dude,
Dude, a
I
kickball
love
team?
kickball. I
A
love
kickball team?
Listen,
on the softball field,
On
where you
the
kick it
softball
over the
field.
fence,
dude,
Yeah.
we
Not
play.
a bad
we,
idea.
We play
Because
kickball.
and you can have men and women
Not a
play.
bad
so,
idea.
I
We
mean,
played kickball, like in freshman gym, and like there was these like sort of not shelves, but metal bars that ran across the top. And
if you hit it.
no, I kicked it and it stuck. It stuck in the bar, and the PE coach just looked at it and was like, "Well, they win. We're done."
Yeah, we would play kickball in the gym, and what it was is at Bandy's gym, it's
like those
two-tone.
lines, yeah.
There's a line, and if you hit it over the line, it was a home run. Well, me being a soccer player, dude, it was easy.
You just
Dude,
scooped
it was
didn't
easy.
you?
They would roll it to me, and I'm like,
Thanks,
I
bud.
went up and kicked left-footed one time. They said, "How did you do that?" I'm like, I'm a soccer player. This is easy. You are literally just asking me to tee it up.
This is the softest cross I'll ever get.
Now,
in
what's
my
the
life,
difference
basically.
between table tennis and ping pong? Because that just
Are they
depends on
on
which,
there
which side of the country you live on.
Maybe
like
it's
Coke and pipe.
Well, ping pong, it's got the one dividing line. Maybe table tennis is literally lined out like a tennis court.
Yeah,
And
but
you
you're
have to
asking
serve
too
it,
much.
It's a good theory.
cross.
I don't know if you're in.
I don't know if I'm accurate or not, but
Bold prediction, Cotton. We'll see how that
Yeah,
goes out.
that's exactly what that is. Water boy, you get a water boy shirt. That's cool.
Hey, water girl.
Water girl.
Water girl.
Water someone.
Now, I was about to say,
We
where's the
don't
water?
assume.
Where's the water disease?
Water
at?
person.
Water.
We don't assume.
Oh man, listen,
Wiffle
wiffle
ball.
ball. Can I have a story about wiffle ball? Yeah, be excited about it, JP. Okay, so we had intramural.
That was
wiffle
a
Yeah, there it is. What word?
sarcastic laugh, by the way.
Anyway,
I thought you were going to say psychotic. I was like, oh.
Anyway, so that's an intramural at Wingate was wiffle ball.
Yeah.
No.
And so we get all the way up to the championship game. We're
You had to pitch to your own team or the other team?
Other team.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Y'all went far.
yeah, boy. So we were slinging it. Like
Have you ever seen those guys that like?
yeah,
tough.
like So
They get
I
wild.
had a couple guys on my team that one guy that got an offer to play baseball at Wingate. He just didn't want to. And so we had guys that like I said, we made all the way to the championship game. And we get there, we show up, and they're like, yeah, we can't play. The only wiffle ball we have is broken. So we wait 2 weeks. We played with a ball like that in the championship and lost. I was so mad because they give you the intramural champion
Wiffle ball element, and they
You-
can't
you-
hit the
you
ball.
get
that's
the-
not wiffle ball.
It's not. It's Nerf ball or something. So all I wanted was that
Dude,
intramural
Nerf
champion
football.
T-shirt.
And the wiffle ball moves. So the
Yeah, I
pitching
know
in
that.
is
Look,
just
I know how the
insane.
wiffle ball works. I'm just saying, it took out of your element, and you guys weren't meant to be champions.
Man, that's not wiffle ball
I would
anymore.
have played with a broken ball.
I would have. That's what I thought. I was like, dude, tape it
You
up.
know
I
how
don't
many
care.
times growing up we've just played after we split the ball in half? We just tried
Tape
to
it
put
up.
back together.
Tape. If nothing else, I would have learned how
Yeah.
to throw it with the tape on it. That gives you more weight on it.
Was Dollar General closed?
Listen, it's Wingate.
Walmart closed. There's
It's-
a Dollar General right across the street from Wingate, ain't there? Or
There's
Oh,
a
yeah,
Family
they act like
Dollar,
they can't
and
go get
Family
it.
Dollar just didn't have it. And I guess they didn't want to go to the Walmart in Monroe.
Yeah.
Monroe.
That would be
Excuse me,
that would be a
Monroe.
great way to play. Like I said, those Nerf footballs that you can just throw like 100 yards flat-footed because the thing has got no like.
You know what I
and
want?
It's like the
Flag,
size of
Flag
the-
should play with Nerfs.
I
Yeah,
want.
just
I
play
want.
with the Nerf
be
ball.
I
fun.
want Nerf football, but I want it the Whistler football, so I can just play DB and keep my head this way, and then I hear it and just. Doop. That'd be great. That's perfect.
Carson is a DB. I don't think so.
Listen, it's free safety. It's like playing center field. I can do that.
Okay.
I keep my eyes on the quarterback
All
and
right.
just.
I don't. I was gonna say maybe linebacker.
Listen,
but,
man.
I mean,
You'd be surprised.
safety.
I'm shifty.
You're shifty.
I'm
You're
a lo-
shifty.
I played tennis. I'm a lot quicker than I look.
Okay. I believe you. We don't assume. we don't assume.
You know what happens when you assume, Hunter?
It makes a
You get
know
burned.
what, out of-
You get burned on the back end. Because I don't know.
All right,
Just
yeah, okay.
You know, I was gonna pull up a Bandy shirt for class clown shirt for
Hey, guess
Hunter.
what? They don't
Bandy's
have
ain't
it.
even listed.
Aw.
They don't even have bandies.
They got Bryson City.
They got every
And Bowie's
they got
Creek. They
every
don't have
s-
bandies?
They got every school but bandies, I think.
That's literally the opposite ends of North Carolina, Bryson City to Bowie's Creek. They don't have
They
bandies.
don't have
There
Hunter
was one
Huss
that
either.
said Catawba.
They don't have
I mean,
Huss
we're in
either.
Catawba
Well,
County,
yeah, of course
so
they don't have
They got Bessemer. They got Cherryville.
They had Grover. I saw
We
Grover.
got Lincoln.
Got Lincoln, yeah.
Lowell's.
I don't know if y'all was-
Lowell's an elementary school.
Yeah, they got elementary schools on here too. That's what's cool. That's what my Hastings sweatshirt is, y'all. If y'all have ever seen
Different.
that, I got it off this website.
Yeah.
There's in New York. There's a Hastings High School, and they're the Yellow Jackets.
That's not bad.
So I ordered a bunch of stuff off there with the Hastings on it. All right, we got to take a break, JP. We come back. It's NFL time here on KTCBroadcasting.com. JP. He's not listening.
Do it, Hunter. Do it, Hunter.
Should we do it? Should we do it?
Bow.
Is he listening? I don't know what
We're
he's
at
doing.
break.
We're here because your mother doesn't trust anyone else. Your daughter just got her license. Your son needs a dependable car for school. Or maybe you just appreciate honesty, which is exactly what you get at Classic Ford of Shelby. Whether shopping for one of our 200 new Fords in stock or one of our quality pre-owned vehicles starting as low as $3,000, you get honest service at a hometown price. Welcome to our family. Classic Ford of Shelby, the hometown store that gives you more.
It's time now for the news. A new radio show is taking the nation by storm. It's called This is the 60s, with the best music from the best decade. And, well, thank you. Who are you?
Well, I'm J.J. Wilson, and I'm the host of This is the 60s.
This is the 60s, with the best music from the best decade. News headlines, pop culture corner, and more.
But I was going to say all that.
Get out of my news booth.
Certainly.
This is the 60s, Friday mornings from 10 a.m. till 12 noon on The Balls, WOHS, AM and FM in Shelby, WLON in Lincoln. Now you can rent the new Casino Hall Room at the Cherryville Country Club. It's great for parties of 12 or more. Seats up to 25 of your friends for a night of fun, including Keno, legal poker and video machines, lottery tickets, scratch-off tickets, and more. The new Casino Hall Room is available Thursday and Friday nights. To reserve your night, call the Cherryville Country Club at 704-435-6597. And don't forget about their big Sunday lunch buffet from 11 to 2. Cherryville Country Club off Roy Acre Road in Cherryville. Again, call 704-435-6597.
Good back.
No,
Good
that's
welcome.
no.
Welcome back to Saturday Sports Talk. Kevin Hastings, along with Carson Dockery, Hunter Yancey.
It does. Well, he's from Maryland.
It's starting to warm up in here now. I got the heat going on. I'll have to go turn it down.
What was that?
Oh, I raised my hand up and caught every bit of this and cracked 3 of these knuckles. Man, that's how the morning. It is officially started. The morning has officially started.
So,
Broke something.
Gee, because I heard it through these headphones. I was like, oh my god.
so Carson's a Rams fan.
Yeah.
Carson, was
Listen,
there?
man, I'm dedicated.
Was there?
Right now.
Was there any? Or do you have any concern with the officiating in the NFL? No.
I
Doesn't
mean,
bother you?
yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay, I was just wondering. If you're
yeah,
just gonna
listen,
totally ignore
listen,
it.
no.
You didn't just tune it out.
good for
You
us.
didn't just tune it out, did you? Because it was
No.
kind of blatant.
No. It definitely. Nikel Roby-Coleman. You know, we're gonna talk about. He got fined. He came out
He
and
got
said
a lot.
he came out
After
and said
the
like
game.
yeah, he's like yeah, no, I called it, but I mean he can't throw a flag. But at the same time, you know, we talked about this earlier. I mean they missed 3 face mask penalties against the Saints. That's 3 15-yard penalties, 45 yards. That's half a football field worth of penalties.
They missed a lot of calls, and the more I listen to how people talk about it, and the more I go back over the stats, the Rams outplayed the
That's
Saints.
what I'm, and that's the other thing is like, yeah, like, you know, that's a terrible call, all these things, but at the same time, like you said, after they gave up 13 points in the first quarter, they held them to 10 the rest of the game in overtime. When Drew Brees got the ball first in overtime,
Yeah.
Dante Fowler got the hit. John Johnson made the interception.
And what a lot of people don't talk about too is the fact that play you know, where it should have been the pass interference call could have been negated if Sean Payton doesn't get cocky and try to throw the ball on first down.
Run it, yeah.
Just run the ball.
Terrible clock management.
Terrible clock management, but I'm also not going to take away from the fact that that was a huge miss.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was not only because of how blatant it was, but because of the circumstances it was in.
Oh, yeah.
Under 2 minutes. You're in the red zone. And that kind of call, it would set you up for a first down on maybe the 4-yard line.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee you get a touchdown.
No.
But you run the clock more, and you give the Rams less time to work with, and you guys wouldn't have that one timeout left because you would have probably called the timeout to try and save as much time.
Yeah.
And so it would not saying the Rams couldn't have tied it up to take it to overtime anyways. I'm just saying it would have been a lot more pressure because you would have been fighting more of the clock.
And you know, being a Rams fan aside, like I hate it that, like you mentioned, the Rams played really well after the first quarter. The rest of the way, Jared Goff
and I'll just put it this way, and you might be getting to it as well. The Rams played good, but it's overlooked because of that call.
Exactly.
Real quick on the time management thing, I'm glad you brought that up. I've said for years, Hunter, before you even got here, that each NFL team, and the Rams kind of have it now with McVay, should have someone who's played Madden before, because you only have 5-minute quarters.
Yeah.
You get a lead, you start running the clock. That's
Absolutely.
how people play. Every team should have a time management 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Sitting on the sidelines or in the booth. Seriously, let him play Madden the whole game. Stick a 12-year-old in the booth up there next to North Turner.
Right.
Let him play Madden for 3 hours. And then with the last 5 minutes of the game, hey, kid, what do we do here? Because these NFL guys have no idea.
Inside zone.
Because even the play where the PI should have been called, why didn't Sean McVay just run why didn't Sean Payton just run the ball anyways?
Exactly.
I mean, you were still going to have fourth down set up.
These
you
coaches
let the clock run.
won't credit the whole Russell Wilson thing. They won't credit for being able to be big coaches or good calls. And here's the thing. The Cowboys, when they went 8-8 3 years in a row, they lost at least 2 games every year when all Garrett had to do, and me and Terry noted this, there was at least 1, 2, maybe even 3 possessions in a fourth quarter
just run
where the other team won with less than 2 minutes. Well, guess what? In the fourth quarter, if you're leading, if you take 3 knees and punt, you waste 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that. In the fourth quarter, if you're leading, if you take 2 knees and punt, you waste 2.5 minutes. Now let's go to Brady in the Falcons game. So they're down 4 scores basically.
Yeah.
So what's 4 times 2.5?
10.
You can waste 10 minutes. So the Falcons could have wasted almost the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's without the Patriots wasting a second. The Falcons could have wasted the whole fourth quarter if and only if the only play they called in the fourth quarter was take a knee. They could have took a knee the whole fourth quarter, played pretty good defense, and won that game with no problem. So what we mean by that is that every time you throw an incomplete pass, every time you run out of bounds, that's 40 seconds the other team has to come back on you.
Yeah.
So when you lose in the last second to a field goal or lose in the last second to a touchdown, it's probably your fault for not running the ball in the fourth quarter with the lead, because you could have wasted that 40 seconds earlier. Because when do teams save their timeouts? For the last 2 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
So you can pass then anyway if you want. So you might as well run. If you have a lead, coaches, in the fourth quarter before the 2 minute stops, run. It doesn't matter how many yards you get. It don't matter if you take a knee. The math comes out. We go to these, we talk about this in basketball and all the time in baseball. The analytics of it. Well, the analytics say if you just take it. Jason Garrett the Cowboys could have made the playoffs 3 straight years if in one game that year he'd have took 3 knees and punted. 3 knees and punted. That's all it takes. So after off that tangent, the NFL has the audacity to fine
Roby,
the defensive back Roby, who did not get called for a flag, who won the game. So the NFL says
it's like an unofficial statement, basically.
So get this: the NFL says the NFL messed up, the referee messed up, the Saints aren't going to the Super Bowl, but let's make this guy pay $26,000.
Yeah, but it wasn't for the PI. It was for the helmet. The helmet hit.
Right. Now here's my point on that. What I want to get to that makes me really mad. And I ain't even got nothing to do with it. Don't really be mad. It's just aggravating.
Yeah.
If I was a player,
Yeah.
at what point and who argued in our player agreement? Do y'all? I think it's the most unfair thing in the world that the NFL fines players for penalties.
That they didn't get called on.
Not even that.
Period.
It's a penalty. The
You're
penalty
penalized.
for a penalty is a penalty.
You're already
Yeah.
They don't cut. Brady don't get fined for throwing it out of bounds or intentional grounding. Who can get fined in the NFL for a penalty? Name the player.
Defensive players.
Only defensive players.
But don't
Linemen
they-
can't get
don't
fined
they
for
only-
holding or chop blocking or any of that
Don't
stuff.
they only do it for like unsportsmanlikes and helmet to helmet?
Right, but my point is I don't care.
Yeah.
It should
You're
be
already
fine.
penalized.
I've already signed a contract. We've already discussed what it is. So every time I get a penalty, I lose money. That can't be under the rules. And even if it is personal fouls, the personal foul penalty is 15 yards. If you don't want it to be a penalty, just say it's not a penalty, and then we're going to fine you for everything afterwards. That's just weird to me how you can fine people for penalties. No other sport, even if the flagrants and all that stuff, it's just weird that they do that on the court or on the field. That the defensive back, we're going to fine you $25,000, and those guys, what if they're not making that too much
A
money?
lot of them aren't. Yeah.
And they only play 3-4 years on average. It's just I don't think that's the way to go. My suggestion for the past few years, kind of go a hockey style thing for those if you really wanted to.
Duke it.
No, not that.
Oh,
They're trying to write that out of hockey.
No, what I'm saying is, if you get an unsportsmanlike 15-yard or whatever aggressive hurt somebody penalty it is, let's have penalty boxes
for the player that committed it.
15, penalty boxes.
You-
You're
yeah,
out a
you
quarter. You're out 5 minutes.
Yeah,
whatever, you're out
5
the
minutes
next
of game
defensive
time,
drive,
yeah.
whatever that is,
Yeah.
whatever the penalty is. You're just out. So instead of kicking a player out for the whole game, spending the next game, or fining him, because what will make players stop more than anything is taking them off the field, right?
Yeah.
So if you hit somebody helmet to helmet, 5-minute penalty box.
And think about it, 5 minutes is a lot.
It's a 5-minute.
5 minutes is a lot in a game. In a game. In a game.
So you do a 5-yard penalty and a 5-minute penalty box. However you want to work it. I like the penalty box idea for football, where you can say, "Hey, we're going to kick you out of the game because you only got 45 players on the
Because
field."
think about it. If it's a key defensive player that's in the penalty box for 5 minutes, that's almost like football's essential for a power play in hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, now granted,
Especially-
they'll
think
have
about
to
it. You're
put
playing
in
the
the
Cowboys
backup,
in the
but-
90s or the 49ers and Falcons in the 90s, and Deion gets a personal foul.
Guess who we're throwing at? Where Deion's not.
That's where that one person.
Well, not only that, like you're talking about Deion. I mean, he's big in special teams.
Yes.
So I mean, like
return.
you're talking about like a DB. You can not only be missing time on defense, you can be missing time where you actually have the ball. In
I
your
do. I
hand.
just think it's unfair to take their money. Like, I don't care how much
I
they
mean,
make.
yeah,
We've already
about-
agreed on
think
this
about it. It would
contract.
be, I mean, that could be like Aqib Talib in this game against the Patriots.
Yeah.
But I mean, Talib hits somebody, does something wrong. He sits in the box for 5 minutes. Tom Brady, as smart as Belichick is, say, hey, he's not on this side of the field anymore. Let's hit him. Throw towards it.
So we're going to do our predictions and everything next week. We had our
closer.
We had our they had some Pro Bowl stuff that
whoop-de-doo, glorified practice.
they had some of that stuff this week.
I kind of
I watched the quarterback thing. I like watching that because you can see it. You can tell a lot by a quarterback how he throws in that situation, just because it involves accuracy and timing. And I wish they'd have more quarterbacks. So this year was stupid. This is what they did this year. Last year was 3 versus 3 quarterbacks. This is a quarterback competition, right?
Right.
So the world we live in, we got to be fair. Now they took out one of the quarterbacks and let a non-quarterback throw.
Well, who was a non-quarterback?
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Who was it?
For the AFC was Von Miller.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, he probably did.
He got 2 points.
I did see that actually.
For the
he was throwing it all over the place.
Oh, it was terrible. The NFC was Adam Thielen. He got 10 points.
That's not bad.
He outscored 2 of the other quarterbacks. No, one of the other quarterbacks.
You know who the AFC should have let throw the ball if they weren't in the Super Bowl was Edelman, because Edelman was a college quarterback.
So Thielen's throws looked awful. They sideline the balls.
He threw a slider.
When the balls were hitting the targets, they weren't hitting with the point of the ball.
The
They're hitting with the
broadside.
side of the ball.
Who won it?
I'm getting to it.
Okay.
edge of your seat over here.
I know. I want because I didn't. I saw the Von Miller throws and I was like, "This is ridiculous."
They didn't do it because of that. It was an individual thing. Now it's a team thing.
Oh.
So, the NFC won last year. Russell Wilson came in last. Dak Prescott beat him by 1 point last year. So they talked to Russell about being in last and everything this year. The record was 21. He went to the final round. We're going. Okay, we're going. I'm gonna set up the final round. It's Russell versus Andrew Luck.
As it should be. I
Luck,
would have expected that.
Luck's team is behind. The FC's behind. Luck has to beat Russell by more than 5. When Luck goes first, when he's done, he didn't do too well.
Right.
Luck did worse than Adam Thielen.
Oh.
Luck got 5 points.
Oh.
And if you watch Luck throw, you would be like, he shouldn't be on the NFL field, guys. I'm telling you, it's bad. It's not that he's hurting.
It's
That ball
different.
does not come. You remember what Peyton's Ducks look like?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Well, which is crazy because he
It's
still
all-
threw 39 touchdowns this year.
So he only had.
I guess just fatigue is hitting.
He only had 5 points on it, and it was just he was all over the place. And he's a nice guy. He's a nice kid.
Yeah.
Real
nice
smart,
about
yeah.
it. And but anyway, he did terrible. So when he was done, the AFC was leading by 1 point. So Russell only needed 2 points.
Yeah.
So Russell last year came in last. This year, the AFC had 21 points. Russell in the final round got 19 by himself. He almost broke the record and beat the other team by himself. So Russell did go off. He did good throwing the ball. You could tell. I mean, just like I said, last year, Phillip Rivers was in it. And watching Phillip Rivers throw the football, you can't really, from the side, it does look god-awful shot
Yeah.
putting. But when they show that angle from behind, it actually looks like someone's throwing darts.
Yeah.
The way it comes so quick out of his hand once he releases it.
And
you
he's
can watch, and that
accurate.
camera, well, you never see that in the NFL, the camera shot from behind. So you can see his angle, which I like because I've thrown from that angle. You can just see that ball, what he's looking at and where he's putting it. And I was very impressed with Phillip Rivers. Like I was impressed to the point where, as long as someone blocks for him, he could throw till he's 60. He's like, to me, it looked like a little Dan Marino type. He's standing there. He can still throw it. If you guys can block, let him
Give
play.
me 3 seconds.
Let me try to think. The other quarterback was Deshaun Watson. He was god awful too.
Yeah. Trubisky was there, wasn't he?
Trubisky was okay. He threw it better than I thought he would. Watson was all over the place.
I think the only
Watson did throw like 2 or 3 balls. I will say this, and this is what a lot of these guys do. They'll and I say about Goff, he'll throw 2 or 3 balls that look gorgeous, and then he'll throw duck, and that's what Deshaun Watson was doing. So I don't want to say he looked awful.
I think
Love looked
Trubisky just what he's missing is reps. I think that's all he's really missing is reps because he didn't have many reps. He only started 1 year in college and came out and was still the number 2 pick. So I think he just needs reps. I think he throws a pretty ball, but
I can't even name one of his receivers to for the Bears.
Kevin
Brandon
White's
Marshall.
hard to Kevin White's
don't even
never
play there,
even
no.
stepped on the field.
Yeah, that's a shame because
he's a talent.
So
At
how
West
about
Virginia? He was nasty.
So how about, let's see real quick, we'll go over to Kansas City. They basically lose because their defensive lineman lines up offsides.
Yeah.
Neutral zone, not even
neutral
offside.
zone infraction.
And they technically lose because they didn't get the coin flip. That
Yeah.
overtime,
Well-
it was whoever won that coin flip.
Tom Brady, every playoff game he's ever played, when it goes to overtime, the other team hasn't touched the field.
I mean, y'all, and I tell y'all it's fixed. But anyway, so the overtime thing. I've got a few solutions,
I'm
but
so
nobody
sick and
listens
tired
to
of
them.
the overtime
That,
rule
so
in
we
the
could
NFL. It's a
really
Just let them play the whole
Kansas City. If they don't line off offsides, they are in the Super Bowl. And if the referee don't miss their Super Bowl, like 2 definitive plays, it's not often you could. A lot of times say, like you said, well, let's look at overtime and all that. But the fact is, if he don't line off sides, it's game over.
Yeah.
And the fact is that if that coach, if they throw the flag on the Rams player, it's game over. There's not a lot of times you say, well, that one play is game over. But those you can. Now,
another one that
one of the proposals was that someone on Twitch or someone go online and put and play those two teams online and just have a big and play commercials and like do like a fake Super Bowl with it online and everything and have a big production of it.
That'd be funny. You know how many people would probably tune into that?
Yeah.
I'd watch
There
it.
would be.
Yeah.
It's not like there wouldn't be. There'd definitely be people.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of people. Believe it or not, a lot of people watch.
All right, overtime. I've got 2 proposals,
Go ahead.
or kind of a all-encompassing proposal.
Right.
One, most people want both teams to get the ball right.
Yes.
So the NFL kind of, I thought, had it right where they, if you scored and the other team gets scored, they kind of got that right. My thing is, I would just try to make it simple as be. You got 1 quarter. We're gonna play football.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
play
said.
it like in the normal quarter. Even if you want to do 10 minutes and cut it instead of 10, 15.
Yeah,
let's
that's
cut it
fine.
10.
That's fine.
Do a 10-minute quarter. Play it regular.
You can play 5 minutes for all I care.
Now,
five-
that's too
5
little 'cause
minutes.
you can just run it out.
Yeah.
Now here's why.
Tom Brady
Because
got
that'll
more
give
than
both
5
teams
minutes.
a chance to get the ball at least once. Then you can't complain. And you're playing 2. You're playing real football. Now 3, I'm going extreme overtime, folks, on this. And I know this is not popular, but after you've already played overtime, it's tied. We've played 50 minutes. We still can't decide. These football players can't decide who's better. It's time for the kickers to come out.
Yeah, keep
And I'm
backing
not
it
a
up.
kickers fan. But the thing is, after
Who's
this,
gonna be the Cody
Tell me
Parkey?
it wouldn't be exciting though.
Or the Greg Zerline.
But we're not going to start.
Yeah, Greg DeLay.
I don't want to make
God
any.
almighty.
I don't want to make any goats. So we're going to start at like the 40 or 45.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not going to start kicking from the 30 and
No.
say Parkey misses a 30, he sucks. I don't want to do that.
It's got to be a legit.
I would
field
put the
goal
ball
attempt.
down at the 40. No blocking, no nothing. We're having a penalty kick off straight.
To
We've
me,
got to the point of
anything
sealing
that's
it.
30 and closer is a chip shot.
Right. So I want to put the ball at the 40. So we're starting at 50. Your kicker kick, my kicker kick, and we kick till somebody misses. That's all you do. If you miss, you both get a chance to win. Whatever you
like
get
a
round,
shootout,
round.
yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
One
It's
kicker
like-
at a time, and one
It's like
shootout.
penalty kicks in soccer.
Yep.
Just whoever misses, you're screwed.
That's
Sorry.
exactly. And if you want to complain about that, you should have won the game in the first 70 minutes.
Well, another thing that I think would be good is when you go to overtime, you got to go for 2. Every time, like
That'd probably help.
that
If
would
it- like
really
like
help.
say, if you're gonna play a whole period, not like first
Well,
touchdown win.
Isn't that
when
how they do in college after?
Well,
a certain amount?
after the
Third or
second
second,
overtime,
You have to
go for 2 every time.
See, I just think they need to go the college rule to the NFL, except you go from the 50-yard line.
I say still kick it
Because,
off.
well, or just still
Give
kick
them
it
give
off.
them
don't even matter now.
give them untimed possessions like in college. Yeah,
That's what I'm
go
saying.
one for
like,
one.
One for if you can get in. Get
Two other
down
things
there,
I want to fix. I want
Yeah.
to fix the onside kick rule. These teams have no chance.
Gotta
Well,
go
what
10
they,
yards.
Well, not that. They switched it. It used to be you could pile up 10 people on one side of the ball.
Oh, now
And
you
now
gotta
it's 5
split.
and 5. And so it's split, and then it's
Well, you
tough.
don't get the
Have
big
you
scrum
seen?
anymore.
Have you seen when they
It's
used?
got down to like 5% though. It used to be 20%.
Have you seen when they bring out 2 kickers though?
No, I've not seen that.
What they'll do is, I mean, like you said, instead of 5 and 5 now, it's you get 2 kickers. You have the same amount of guys on both sides, and they both run up at the
Yeah.
same time.
Don't know
That's
who's
good.
gonna kick it.
Now Dallas had a kicker a long time ago in the 80s, and Dejas, he did a backwards kick kind of. So
Oh, the Rubinho, yeah, where he stuck his back foot
acted
in.
he was going right, and then kicked it back behind him to the guys behind
Did
him.
I say that right, Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make you're you're the soccer expert here, Hunter.
So-
I wanna,
No, you did.
I want to run it through you.
So check. Nothing, JP. We're just getting the guns ready.
That's ready.
It's always ready.
It's always
Where was we
ready.
ready? Where was we at before I went to JP there? for a second?
Rubinho's.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, I want to be able to put more people on. I did hear another good idea. What if you backed up the receiving team 5 yards, and the line was still 10 to get it?
Yeah.
You backed up
they
the 10,
both
so
have
they
to
both have to kind of
come
come
Because
to
to
it.
it.
the way they have the onside now, it's so favored to the receiving team that it's like, why would you even do it?
Yeah.
Why would you even
I've
take
never
the chance?
understood why more teams, and this is Madden coming in the experience, squib it a certain amount,
Yeah.
a certain way up, and literally try and kick it to a lineman, somebody who doesn't have hands, and hit him.
No,
as
I
the ball
want
gets there.
him to just take the ball and punt it straight
Okay.
up in the air
So
and just
that
just fight for
that
it.
is a play, Carson, where you squib it, and then that's kind of what they wanted. They didn't want those up guys just blowing at people out and then getting the ball like that. So that was part of that rule. There was a high school kid I played with that got hurt on that play.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to say it in high school, but once you're in the pros, man,
You're a
Did you get
consenting
paid?
adult.
So,
You know
okay,
what
you
you're
know
signing
that
up
the
for.
high bounce kick, right? You're
Yeah.
talking about. Why don't they kick that straight down the middle of the field? Because then
Everybody.
all 10 of your players can
Converge.
converge in the middle,
Yeah.
and also once it makes that high hop in the middle of the field, then it could go left and right.
It's a football.
That ball
yeah.
could go anywhere. So
I
kick the
say-
high hop straight down the middle, and then
If we want to get wacky with this,
Let's get
I'm
wacky.
I'm just saying, let's just take the dang referee in the center of the field and just basically have a jump ball for it. He just throws it up in the air as high as he can, and everybody just beats
well,
the crap out of each other.
XFL tried all
Yeah,
that.
I mean, hey,
Oh,
let's just do it. Let's just do
XFL
it.
tried a lot of things.
All right, end of our show. Got a couple other news and notes before we get off here.
Hall of Fame. You gotta talk about Hall of
That was what that was
Good,
the that was.
good.
Well, I got 2 steps. It's that one and then the next one. So Hall of Fame, real quick. I've got a giant complaint.
Yeah, a giant complaint.
I don't know. I might. No, I don't know.
Wait, is it a Giants
no.
complaint? Oh,
No.
he did. Yeah, do you know what I'm getting at?
I got a New
Very
York.
nice.
I got a New York complaint. So we have Roy Halladay,
Yes.
Mike Mussina,
Yes.
Edgar Martinez,
Yes.
and Mariano Rivera. And I'm going to sum it up how I want to sum it up, because this is my prerogative. We got a guy who can't catch a baseball in the Hall of Fame. Never caught a baseball. He decided I want to hit.
Okay, I've got a rebuttal for this.
I know
I'm
you
ready.
do,
I'm
but
ready.
I don't care what you say. If you can't, don't go play baseball. You just that just aggravates me. That's all he ever did.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Edgar
Edgar
Martinez.
Martinez.
That's
I'm
what I
not saying he can't hit. I'm not saying he ain't good. I'm saying you got to play a position. Number 2, Mike Mussina averaged 11 wins a year. If he would have never put a Yankee hat on, would he be in the Hall of Fame?
He had 20 wins when he was 39.
I know that. My
He had
question was,
his
he
win
averaged
lot.
11
He had
a year.
117 more wins than losses.
I'm not saying he's not bad.
And I'm
What
not.
I'm saying is
I'm
that
not
if
saying
he
he should have
didn't
been
have a
first
Yankee
ballot,
hat,
but I.
You
would
don't
he
have a
still
problem
be?
with the other two, though.
I'm not done yet.
He's got a problem.
Go.
I
Halladay.
don't
think I have a problem with him.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't have a problem.
Roy
with
Halladay.
Was he first ballot? If he was, I got a problem with
Yes.
that.
Well, there was different things. Roy Halladay was going to get in either way, but I think
Yes,
'cause
I'm fine with Halladay.
Now,
and
the
Roy Halladay sets a
Mariano
precedent.
Rivera
That's
is the most
not-
egregious thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's
I'm not
okay.
saying he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer.
You don't think he should have been first ballot?
I'm not saying he shouldn't be first ballot. He sure as hell shouldn't be unanimous.
Kevin, were you one of the 11 people who didn't vote for Babe Ruth in the first Hall of Fame class?
Right. I would have been. Because here's
Oh my
why.
God.
Not that they've already set the precedent, Carson. If you're going to tell me that King Griffey Jr. can't get first ballot or unanimous,
Okay,
if you're going to tell me Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, all these players of all time can't get unanimous, you're going to tell me a guy who throws one inning,
well,
and if
probably considered the greatest closer of all time.
No, probably is.
did I say he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer?
No, you did.
I'm saying he shouldn't got 100% of the votes because he's a closer. Do we even use closers now? Do we even use saves now? Is anybody going to break that
Some
record?
people don't even use starters.
Okay. He's a closer. He didn't even start. And another thing, the same thing with Mussina. If Mariano Rivera had a Colorado Rockies jersey on his whole career, would
Trevor Hoffman got it.
But with those kind of numbers, maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't back up, guys. I'm not saying he wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I'm not
Oh,
saying
would
he's
he
not a
not
Hall of
be
Famer.
unanimous?
If he had a Colorado Rockies jersey on, would he have got 100% of the votes?
I think.
And there's no way, no how, no way.
Okay.
Yankees is the only reason.
I'm gonna
You
go.
know it.
I'm gonna go in order of what you said. Edgar Martinez. Edgar Martinez has an award named after him. He's the best.
That's cute.
That's the DH award. Okay, I understand your argument. Like, yeah, he never played defense, but at the same time, how many guys made the Hall of Fame for their defense? I know who you're gonna say, Ozzie Smith. Name one other guy.
Did Omar get in?
Who?
Vizquel. Did he get in recently? I can't remember if he got in. I think he did.
Well,
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to argue. But
what I'm saying is, there are guys who are in the Hall of Fame who are great offensive players, but played before the time of the DH or played in the National League, who are in because of their offense, but they just were forced to play a defensive position. If nothing else, the fact that he played DH meant he didn't hurt his team defensively. That's all I'm going to say on that. That's all I'm going to say on that.
well, if you say that, then he's not good enough baseball player.
He's a good enough, but,
Like, there's 9 positions, Carson.
He's a product of playing in the American League during this time period.
You know why they did this, don't you? The only reason Martinez is getting in.
So Poppy can get in.
Exactly.
No, I know that. No,
we all know
it's
that.
It's a precedent.
Because we're going to forget all about the steroids and all about everything as soon as Poppy gets here.
Yeah, but Poppy played first base for a little while.
He did.
That's what I'm saying.
He at least played.
Okay, okay. Now, to Roy Halladay. Roy Halladay, now that sets a precedent. That means you don't have to win. First off, there's never going to be another 300-game winner in baseball ever again. So that sets the precedent that you don't have to put up. He had, 209 wins as a player? You don't have to go out and win a ridiculous amount of games. You can just be dominant.
Let me ask you something. And I know this kills baseball fans. But we count quarterback wins and losses. And now all of a sudden we say pitchers' wins don't count. And they say because they don't hit and they don't affect the game that way. But Tom Brady don't play defense.
I don't like
you know
to.
what I mean?
I don't like to count quarterback wins and losses.
Okay, if you're going to go that way, then fine. But the same people, what I'm saying, a lot of times
No,
you
I
hear
agree.
say,
I hate-
let's count quarterback wins and losses, but the pitchers don't
that-
count. But the pitcher's got to do his job. The
That's
quarterback's got to do his job.
Well, yeah, but
it might be unfair to count them.
And see,
I
this
agree.
is the difference between quarterback and pitcher. The quarterback is the offensive part. A pitcher's defense. At the end of the day, he's your defense.
Oh, yeah. Baseball's the only sport where defense has the ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
I think that would be the difference. Because, so he is legit the reason why you're winning or losing.
Yeah.
He's either getting hit or he's striking people out.
Well, I mean, I don't like to, but at the same time, I don't like to count wins and losses really that much as a pitcher, because that means, I mean, yeah, you're effective enough. Like, if you have a win total, you can say, you know, I was the reason we won this many games, blah blah blah. But at the same time, look at DeGrom this year. He had no run support, and you can't help that. You can't help.
I understand that.
He, like you said, he's in the National League. He can even go out and try to hit. But if the other 8 guys can't put a ball in play, can't get on base, and then somebody else behind them get hit.
But your job and here's the thing, and here's the argument on that. Your job as a pitcher, say your ERA is 3. That doesn't mean you get 3 every game, right?
No.
So some games you're going to give up 7, some games you're going to give up 1.
Averaged out over 9 innings.
Right.
That's
so,
not necessarily.
So some games you'll give up 7, some games you'll give up 1. So my point is, the games your team, and I was talking to Coach the other day about he didn't have any pitching. Like, what are we going to do? Like, you got to out-hit him. And there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. So you have to figure out a way. That pitcher that day, when he walks on that field and he sees his team's not hit, he's got to say, I got to shut it down.
I just think
sometimes you can't, sometimes you can.
I think it's unfair to expect you to have to go out and throw 8 innings of 1 run, 3-hit baseball every single. You need run support.
Right. And I like I said, I think it's unfair. Romo scores 48 in the Broncos, and he's the reason they lose. They give him the loss. You know,
well, I tell you what,
Cam's beat John Skelton. He gets a playoff win.
Yeah, but they're not saying
John
that today.
Skelton.
But I know they're not saying that today about Patrick Mahomes. They're not saying that because it's so blatantly that the defense lost that game. It's just blatant.
Look, I wouldn't have cared if Rivera would have missed it by 1 vote. I wouldn't have had a problem. But the unanimous thing for a closer, Andy's a Yankee. If he was a closer for the Braves, I probably wouldn't say anything. But anytime a Yankee's involved, you know it's half full of.
Okay, so part of that is, you said he only come in for 1 inning. He's got the most 4-out saves. He's got 31 postseason 4-out saves.
He wouldn't have any postseason saves if he played for the Rockies. You can't count postseason.
You know how many the next guy has?
How did Bonds do in the postseason?
He never won a World Series.
That's what I want to get to now. That pisses me off.
We gotta go. But
I know we do. We'll talk about that off air.
31 4-out postseason saves. You know how many the next guy has? 9.
Yeah.
9.
It's not fair. He played for a team that bought playoffs for 10 years.
Listen. But he's still good.
I'm not saying he's not.
No.
He's not.
No, okay, listen. So I get your argument that, Ken Griffey Jr. probably should have been. All these other people probably should have been unanimous. But there is an argument that there are better center fielders all time than Ken Griffey Jr. There is no argument that there's a better closer than Mariano Rivera. There is not. There is nobody.
Here's why you can. Because of what I just said earlier, Carson. Think about it. If he didn't play for the Yankees, it's all about the Yankees. From my perspective, and you a Braves fan should see it too.
I mean,
if he played for another team,
if
he played for another team, he wouldn't have 30 postseason appearances because it's not. You can't.
But even during,
to me, you can't count postseason wins. Like you said, because it's a team thing, to where if Trevor Hoffman and him switch places their whole careers, would we consider Trevor Hoffman the greatest and not him? Right?
I don't know.
Would there be an argument for that?
I don't know. That's the thing is I don't know. You can't. I don't like to go out on that kind of a limb. And
what about Eckersley? He started and was the
no.
saves.
Well, yeah, it was him and
he did both.
LaRussa.
Smoltz. I would take Smoltz over Mariano Rivera because he could pitch and he could start and club.
Well, Mariano Rivera started out as a starter. He's got over 10 or 20 starts over his career, and then he became a closer.
Every vote.
He's the best closer ever. There's no argument about it. There's not.
I got Dennis Eckersley.
I'm taking Mariano Rivera.
I got Nolan Ryan.
Mariano.
If
I need 6 outs, if I need 2 innings worth of outs, I'm gonna give it to Mariano Rivera because there's maybe 5 guys who can hit, and you know who's one of them? Off of him, Edgar Martinez. Edgar Martinez had like a 400 batting average against Mo.
Let's see. Final thoughts. I did have one more thing. Oh, Cam had surgery this week. Not really. I guess not getting into that. They said he's gonna be back for hopefully OTAs. I don't know. We kind of got into that last week about their options on what they're gonna do. We'll wait for Terry's thoughts on that next week in our preview. I wanted this reaction on the air, but I don't have an approval.
Okay, that's fine.
But
that's fine.
I'm going to bring it up anyway. Before we get off the show.
And I have one thing to say. It's not this, but that's when we're going off air. Just let me know.
All right. So Carson.
Yes.
I have not gotten approval. Working on. I'm checking my emails every minute. It might not be approved till tomorrow.
Oh boy.
But Monday, if the approval comes through, I've got Hunter Yancey in a Braves hat.
There it is.
And Carson Dockery in a Braves hat if he wants, attending Super Bowl Media Day.
What?
Oh, you didn't tell him?
I didn't tell him. He didn't know a single thing about it. What? This is Carson's surprise.
What?
Surprise!
Oh my God!
I wanted to get him on camera.
Oh my God!
I was hoping I've got the approval by now.
Oh my God!
I don't know if you're approved.
Hunter, tomorrow's my birthday. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, it's his birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday!
Oh, thanks, man. Oh my God!
So, we're trying to surprise you for this. We don't know, but don't get mad at me if you get disapproved.
No,
Yeah.
just the thought.
Yeah,
the thought's enough.
We're putting the effort in.
Oh my God!
So hopefully Monday,
Yeah.
you and Hunter will be traveling to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Not to see the Braves, but Carson is going to be able to walk on the Super Bowl field and interview any of the Rams players he wants. Now, I need a Todd Gurley interview.
Yes.
Y'all got to talk to Todd for me since he's from North Carolina.
Who would you go straight to? I said, I'd walk straight to Todd Gurley.
Carson, do you need a tissue, Carson?
I'm not gonna cry. I'm just like in shock.
When I told you surprise Monday, you didn't think about that at all.
Here, Carson, I gotta do you like I had to do.
I told him I had a surprise.
Can't fanboy right now.
No.
I told him I had a surprise. I told him I had a surprise, but I didn't tell him what it was.
Oh my God! Holy Lord!
In Atlanta, 3 hours away, his favorite team in the Super Bowl could be going to Media Day.
Right. With me
again with Hunter.
Oh my God!
I'm not gonna go. They're only allowed 2 seats, but I figured you guys could. I'll go to a different one, maybe a different year. But you guys might not ever have a chance again. So I figured I would send the applications in for you guys. I don't know, like I said, if you're going to get approved. From all the preliminary emails that I've got, it seems like we will.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of time when they send them back. So hold yours. If not, Carson, for a birthday ticket,
we thought about you.
Now let me tell you.
Yeah, no, you thought about me. That's enough.
Let me tell you what they're doing Monday. So it's not just regular media; they've changed it.
It's like Super Bowl week.
It's a preview show. They're doing it. They've turned it into a television show.
Oh yeah.
So the gates open at 5:30. Show starts at 7.
Yeah.
Rams interviews for the first 45 minutes or hour. Then they're going to have both teams on the stage for all-encompassing introductions and interviews and stuff like that. Then after that, the Patriots will do their media day.
Well, we'll leave.
Wait a minute. I have something to say.
So anyway,
you can leave.
Starts
Uber.
at 7.
I'll Uber all the way back.
Starts at 7. I think it'll be over about 9 or 10. And but that's the schedule, folks. You can watch it online. So what they're doing, the fans. Now here it is, fans, guys. Atlanta's only 3.5 hours away from our listener.
It's straight down.
This is like
85,
going to Raleigh. Okay, listen to me. They are having. You can go during Super Bowl week to any of these events and pay and get in some of these things. So what they're doing for the fans of this event, while you guys are doing Media Day, they've got each of the players' mics hooked up to a radio frequency, so you can listen to whatever interviews you want.
That's
in the
a great idea.
That's really cool.
So it's $29 tickets to get in. So you can go to Atlanta, $30, go to Media Day, sit in there and participate. They are going to have a hallway, I think I read, and that said that a player signature hallway.
Yeah.
So when the players come through, the fans come whatever line up and get signatures there.
Just hide your media pass, Carson.
Yeah, signatures for y'all dodos. Now we'll talk about the details here in a minute. We got to get off air. All right,
I
JP,
got one thing I got to say.
Go ahead.
One thing I got to say. Everybody that's listening, I want you to please keep in your prayers the family of a friend of mine, Ethan Dellinger. Unfortunately, Ethan lost his life earlier this week after a freak accident at work, I know Jimmy and Melissa, Zoe, and Michaela. I know the family of the Dellingers in Lincoln County. They would really appreciate you to keep them in your thoughts and prayers as they go through this tough time.
And while Hunter's at that, I had a great aunt. She's not really my kin to, but call her my great aunt. Passed away this week. Just over the year, I never saw this lady, and she didn't give me a hug and kiss and tell me she loved me. And that you like those type of people. Yes. And condolences to her family and everybody over there at the church and everything. Janet Clemmer, and hope Jean stays in good spirits, her husband, and talk about how she always hugs kids. I've never seen this man not be smiling and happy. Right. In 70 whatever years old. I'm 35, so I can't say in 70 years. In the 35 years of I've been on, I've never seen him smiling, not smiling, not being in a good mood, not being a nice guy. So condolences to them, folks. We'll see you next week. We've got next week coming all kinds of things. We've got we're going to have reports from Media Day, hopefully, from Super Bowl.
Hopefully.
Wednesday, Sports Talk with 10 and Ken. The next Friday, Carson's Sports Talk Show. We didn't get to talk about that. Real quick, Carson, last minute. We got to go. Carson on Friday nights is hosting, after the games on Friday nights, a talk show till 11 o'clock, giving out scores from the area. Call Carson here at the station. Send him an email. Send him a tweet. Send him a text. Hunter's going to come in, help out some. Friday night's basketball right now. Wrestling, send you wrestling scores, volleyball scores, wherever you
middle school, high school.
Carson does middle school, any of it. And then also, once baseball season goes, we'll be doing baseball, softball now. So, folks, Friday nights, Friday night, listen to the post-game show now. All sports on KTC Broadcasting. All right, JP, we got to go. We'll be back next week, KTCBroadcasting.com.
Dr. John L. Cloninger III of Lincoln will